Peace, love, light, of healing, peace to the gods, peace to the earth. Y'all climb on in, climb on in. I was having some technical difficulties, but you know how Satan work. The lower thought form, dark forces, they hate for, good information to get out. But, we back in it. So y'all climb on in, climb on in. Let me know if you can hear me and let me know if you can see me before we get this presentation started. I believe this is a beautiful, powerful, mighty presentation. So y'all climb on in the building. Shalom, shalom, shalom lacha. Shalom lacha. Hotep, hotep. Namaste, namaste. Assalamu alaikum. Peace, God. What's today's mathematics, gods and nerfs? Let's talk about broccoli. Let's talk about this good old broccoli. So y'all see what I got with me? I got me some kale, and I got me some cabbage, and I got me some broccoli. For those that know, any type of botany, you know that when the kale mates with the cabbage, it creates broccoli. We finna get deep into it, family. We are going to talk about all of the good healing constituents, all of the availability of minerals. We're going to talk about the good, the bad, and the ugly, and we're going to dispel some myths about broccoli, or just the word hybridization, period. A lot of people think that hybrid foods is acidic when they're not. Now, you do have some acidic hybrid foods. A lot of people have misconstrued the concept of metabolic alkalosis and metabolic acidosis, or metabolic neutralization. And this is where we're talking about the pH, potential hydrogen balance of the body, whether the body is acidic or whether the body is alkaline, or what you would call alkaline affinity. So we're going to talk about that. That way you can have a full understanding, overstanding, and understanding about your body, about what healing is, and about food investigation, really getting down to the nuts and the bolts, really getting down to the molecular structures, the cellulose, getting down to the bioflavonoids, getting down to all of the different extremities inside of these foods that help heal your body, or even may present disease or may cure disease. And we're going to use the word may, for they won't cut our channel off, or, they won't give me another strike, or they won't take our video down. But, y'all know what I mean when I be speaking. Y'all been listening to me for more than 7 to 10 years now. So when I speak, my heart, my mind, I'm a straightforward person. But for this particular platform, we're going to say may. It may heal. It may cure. It may. All right. So if y'all can hear me good and if y'all can see me good, type in some 9s. If y'all can hear me good and if y'all can see me good, type in some 9s. Yeah, I got started on time today, family. I need a round of applause. I usually come in late in the mug. Okay, perfect. Well, before we get this program started, and again, I call this program Broccoli, the Hybrid Going Right, or Broccoli, the Hybrid They Got Right. We're going to be talking about the entire Cruciferous family, though. It's a lot of different elements to the Cruciferous family. You got cabbage, you got kale, you have watercress, you have Brussels sprouts. Again, you have cauliflower, you have broccoli, you have wasabi. It's so many different types. And what's crazy is all of those that I mentioned are a hybrid of the wild mustard plant, or what you would call wild cabbage. Everything else came after that due to selective breeding. And it's going to show you about time we done with this transmission that selective breeding is not bad. Selective breeding, or, hybriding foods, nature does it naturally. Nature does this all the time. Nature has been hybriding its own plants in the ecological system, or you'll call ecological system, for millions of years. And then when you actually get into mankind been naturally hybriding their food for more than 40,000 years. And we're going to get down into all of this. But I do want to put out a disclaimer. I've been seeing a lot of people on my social media platforms trying to, basically say that I'm turning against one of the master teachers, may the Most High rest his soul, the ancestor Dr. Sebi. They trying to put this hatred between me and him, or acting like that I'm coming to try to destroy everything he built. That is pure bullshit. Never would I do that. If you've been to my clinic or if you've seen us building the clinic, you will know that I have big murals of Dr. Sebi painted on my wall, along with Dr. Lilela Africa, along with John Henry Clark, along with Dr. Amos Wilson, along with all of the great ancestors. I even have people that drew personal murals of me and Dr. Sebi and Lilela Africa. I mean, he's everywhere. He's even in my phone. He's a picture on one of my phone savers. So, you know, for people to be trying to pin us against each other because I am coming into new knowledge and new information, I think that is very, very belittling. And I think I want to say shame on y'all for trying to pin me against that man when he is the one who inspired me to be a healer in the first place. For and on the record, if it wasn't for Dr. Sebi, I would have never healed myself of heart disease. I would have never healed myself of kidney failure. I would have never healed myself of the drug addiction that I had. I wouldn't have healed myself of diabetes. I wouldn't have healed myself of toenail fungus. I wouldn't have healed myself of none of these things that I have going on. I was 230 pounds and I'm only 5'6". That should show you how fat I was. I got pictures I can show you. All of that inspiration and all of that first beginning knowledge came from Dr. Sebi. Then, you know, I expanded and did my own thing from there. And, you know, the more and more you get deep into this and the more and more you study, and then I end up doing my clinical trials, getting my certifications, partner up with laboratories and looking into these things for myself. I'm not saying this information wrong. I just found the information that I was taught was a little different. And it's the same thing with Lilela Africa. That was a personal teacher of mine. But it's some things he taught me that I disagree with. There is nothing wrong with me disagreeing. I would never say that they were wrong. I would never talk down on them because, for one, I don't talk down on my elders. I respect my elders. And for two, if it wasn't for these people that's coming before me, I wouldn't be doing exactly what I'm doing for the world or for you in myself right now. So I want to clear the air of that. I'm not against Dr. Sebi. I'm not against his message. I'm not against his teachings. I love that man. If it wasn't for that man, I would not be where I'm at right now. All right. I wanted to put that out there, y'all, because there's a lot of people that's been trying to misscrew my words and say I said things that I didn't. Now, do I agree with everything? No, I don't. And broccoli is one of the things that I don't. And there's plenty other things. And I'm pretty sure if the master teacher was here alive and breathing right now in this three-dimensional realm, he wouldn't agree with a lot of things that I teach. And there's nothing wrong with that because guess what? We're both healing the world. He healed thousands of people. I've healed thousands of people. You know what I'm saying? So ashe to the ancestor. Before we get this presentation started, I actually want to bow my head and give a moment of silence to all of the ancestors and, you know, the healers that have transitioned on. Ashe, ashe. All right, let's get it started. I hope that y'all got y'all pens and y'all pads because it's about to go down. We have a special guest who we're going to be bringing in. The special guest is amazing. His name is Bobby, man, and we met him. Before we do that, I want to introduce y'all to him before we even get into the presentation. That way y'all going to wait towards the end to actually talk to him. When it comes to when it's planting botany, when it comes to just plant physiologies and molecular structures and growing things, man, dude is nothing to be played with, man. This is my brother that I gained. We actually been shooting a Netflix series called From Soil to Table. I can say it now because we do got a trademark because a lot of people do be trying to steal stuff from me, but it's already trademarked and everything. And we just doing an amazing job at the episode. The first episode, we went to Memphis, Tennessee, and we met up with Bobby. I mean, it's a whole group of them, and I want to start bringing them in to do interviews with all of them on my platform. But Bobby, man, he just an amazing brother. And this is me and him and his wife in his garden. And showing you that he grows kale naturally, romaine, he grows all of these things. So this is actually him right here, Bobby, and this is his wife. And of course, this is me. And we're filming an episode. And the episode we doing, man, it's just crazy because everything that he was growing was cruciferous. Everything he was growing. And he was dropping mad knowledge, y'all. I mean, dropping mad knowledge. So we was able to build because, you know, I know the molecular structure of plants and botany. He know the molecular structure. We talking about phytonutrients. He even taught me something, y'all. And it's very rare that I'm actually being taught by somebody, and the brother is my age. So it was just mind blowing. This is him growing cauliflower in his garden, big cauliflower. Wait till you see the Brussels. Wait till you see the broccoli and just the cabbage, the lettuces he grows. I mean, he grows everything, y'all. The dude grows everything. This is the film crew, of course. So the film crew out. I'm doing an interview. I mean, wait till y'all see these episodes. It's mind blowing. So we got food forensics investigations that's going to be premiering on Netflix, Amazon Prime, Tubi, Hulu, Google Play, and all of these other major platforms around July, August. And then right after that, we're going to start premiering our new series called from soil to table, y'all. So, and we got books dropping and everything. I've been super busy, and that's the reason why y'all haven't been seeing me. But man, Bobby, this brother, man, we got to talk to him. Shouts out to Jay on the camera, man. Shouts out to Nabi. Shouts out to everybody. So yeah, man, we got to talk about it. We really got to talk about this stuff. Look at me, man. I'm right here with the kale. I'm with the kale, big, beautiful kale. And yes, we ate everything that we pulled from the garden. You know, we didn't have to go to a store. We didn't have to do none of that. We went straight. He gave us the cruciferous vegetables, you know, and we went to that Airbnb we was at. We cooked it. We invited everybody over. The wives cooked the food. Yes, shouts out to the wives. The wives cooked the food, and we sat down and we feasted with the whole episode of everything that we gathered. So shouts out to Memphis, man. Shouts out to Memphis, and shouts out to everybody in Memphis. So if y'all ready to get everything started, let me pull these pictures out real fast. If y'all ready to get everything started, let's do it. So I'm finna share my screen. And we finna get this started. Let's talk about this broccoli, y'all. Let's talk about this broccoli. Also, y'all, I'm going to cut the comment board off because a lot of people been telling me that the comments actually go across the screen. Both of the wives are in the chat. Nabi, you in the chat. And another brother is in the chat. Y'all see anybody in here tripping? Go on, block them. We ain't playing that game at all today. Let's let the information go forth. If anybody doubting anything that I'm saying, all you have to do is listen to this whole entire presentation. And after you get done listening to the presentation, research everything I said. And then if you want to rebuttal it, I will even create an open dialogue on my platform where we're not debating, because I'm not debating anybody. You know what I'm saying? But we can talk about why you think that this is actually bad for the human body. And the good thing about me is I research so much, I'm even going to talk about the bad stuff to broccoli. See, I'm not just going to talk about the beneficiary factors to broccoli. I'm going to talk about the bad things as well. So please watch this with an open mind. Write down everything. Write down the sites. Write down the sources. I'm going to leave this up on my channel. Y'all literally, look, indulge on this information, then research what I have researched in my clinical trials and everybody else clinical trials on broccoli and the cruciferous family. And if you still are not convinced or you don't believe it with all of this scientific data and analysis, then we can sit down and we can dialogue, a free open dialogue for the whole platform to see. All right, let me do this. Let me change my screen. All right, let me pull in. Hold on, before I do that, let me do this, family. I want to take this off. Let me take this off first. Okay, that's off the screen. What else I need to take off the screen? Let me take these off because I want y'all to have a clear picture of everything. Let me take this y'all key sign off. Okay, we good. Let's do it. Let's do it. All right, all I'm finna do is I'm finna pull up my YouTube. That way I can view the comments as I'm going. I turned the comments off on my board as well. So y'all shouldn't see anything going across the screen. If y'all do see anything going across the screen, just let me know. All right, let's get it. Okay, so y'all see what we got on here. Y'all see what we got. Broccoli, the hybrid they got right. All right, so we're finna talk about broccoli, how broccoli was made. We're going to get down to the hilly constituents of broccoli, the physiology of broccoli, the molecular structure of broccoli, where broccoli came from, why did they decide to even make broccoli, and who created it. It's going to blow your mind. It's going to blow your mind. So let's talk about it. Let's get to it. So the first thing we have to understand when we get into broccoli, that broccoli is a part of something called the Cruciferous plant family. And the Cruciferous plant family is an amazing plant family. It's full of bioavailability of minerals, of nutrients, of electrolytes, and all of this. Now, y'all know I take my stand as a frugivore. I don't believe that we're supposed to be even eating vegetables. I think our diet need to consist of 100% fruit. And I think that we will get there at some times, but vegetables or for the healing of the nation. So there's no difference between the herb kingdom or herbology and vegetables. These are herbs. And once we get into what herbs actually do to the body, which we have to go over today, because I need y'all to understand metabolic acidosis, metabolic alkalosis. And when we understand the potential hydrogen and start really diving into what pH actually is, because I can tell you right now, and I can bet my last dollar that 99.9% of y'all don't even know what, alkaline mean or what acid means. Y'all going around and y'all testing foods, and y'all not testing the ash of the foods after your body go through the metabolic process of eating the food. That's the only true way to test the alkalinity or the acidity of your food. If you're testing it just by putting it in some water and then testing the molecular structure while it's outside of the body, that don't mean anything, because it can be alkaline going in, but once it goes through its metabolic process, it can become an acidic ash. That means that there was an acid forming food. Vice versa, it can be acidic as hell, like a citric fruit. It's very acidic on the potential hydrogen scale, but it is alkalining forming. Not only is it alkaline forming, but it acts as a buffer to acid. So it goes in acidic, but once the metabolic process take place, and then you feed the mitochondria of the cells, and the mitochondria utilize that carbon and water for ATP, you check that ash and that residue that's left behind. We notice that all of your acid, citric foods are actually alkaline forming. So there's a difference between the food being alkaline outside of the body and then being alkaline inside of the body, or being acid outside of the body and being acid inside of the body. So today I just want to set the record straight on a lot of things, because I just think that we need to start diving deep into what we saying. Is just we tend to say a lot of broad things and we don't go in depth on it, and then a lot of people go regurgitating what we saying, and we start teaching misinformation because we didn't complete a full thought. So I want to complete nothing but full thoughts today, y'all. So the cruciferous plant family, you see, arugula is a part of the cruciferous family. Arugula, bok choy. I'm going to name the ones that we use a lot. Bok choy, of course, broccoli rabe, Brussels sprouts, cabbage, cauliflower, collard greens. Yes, your collard greens is a part of the cruciferous family. Bobby has some good collard greens too on his garden, y'all. Horseradish is a part of it as well. Kale, of course, is a part of the cruciferous family. And all of these things come from something called a mustard seed or a mustard plant. You got your turnips, you got your wasabi, you got your radishes, you got your napples, you got your watercress. All of these things and more actually come from this family. Now, what if I told you that the only thing that is truly original, created by our creator, our cosmic creator, or who I personally call Yahweh, the only thing that was original was the mustard seed that created the mustard plant. And then by natural selection and hybriding by actual nature and the creator, we actually got the wild cabbage. And everything else after that is a hybrid. So then you're going to have to start asking questions about kale in there. If you're going to question broccoli, you got to question kale. You got to question all of these other different ones that went through its natural hybrid selection. I mean, I'm just saying we got to put it out there, and we need to put it out there like that, right? Now, once you keep going, we're going to get into the actual origins of the etymology of broccoli. So the word broccoli actually comes from the Italian plural word broccolo. And what this means is the flowering crest of cabbage. So it actually means the flowering crest of cabbage. So it's telling you what the broccoli came from. It come from the crest of cabbage, and it actually come from the stems of a kale. That's all broccoli is. All right. And it's derivative from bracco, meaning small nail or sprout. So the sprouting part of it, or what you will actually call the stem of it, actually comes from the kale stem. And then the flowering the flowering part on the top actually come from the largest part of the kale leaf and the flower budding leaf, or what we call cabbage. That is broccoli, y'all. Let me show you how smart it was for us to do this, y'all. Now, don't get it twisted. You do have some hybrids that doesn't serve a purpose in nature at all. It was a hybrid going wrong. Where, for instance, corn is a hybrid going wrong, but I'm gonna let Bobby talk about that. But you do have hybrids going right. You do. I mean, the watermelon that everybody loves to eat, one of the most alkaline melons in the world, is nothing like a regular watermelon. If you look at an original watermelon, they didn't even have that much water constituents in it. It was full of what you would call fruit cartilage or fruit flesh. It didn't have that water yielding content in it. After hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of years of breeding, of selective breeding, that's when you get the watermelon with the 100 seeds inside of it that is still organic, showing you that even though there's a hybrid, it still can be organic. Most of your papayas, y'all, especially the papayas that come from Hawaii, which 99% of all papayas that come into the USA come from Hawaii. All of those are hybrids. Some of them are even GMO. So, and I'm totally against GMO, family, but I'm just showing y'all that half of the things that you eat, 90% of the things you eat are hybrid foods. 90% of all the things you eat. Do not get it twisted. You name it, most likely it's a hybrid. Either due to natural selection of nature, Yahweh, or due to the natural selection of the intelligence of men. And these men were carbon melanated copper men that actually started these things. Whether we talking about the Sumerians, whether we talking about the Natufian tribes, when you get all the way deep into the roots, you start seeing these melanated beings popping up. They like, hold on, we want to do some. They did the same thing with the wolves. These same melanated species I'm talking about got a wolf, mated it with another wolf, and made it the genes out of the wolf, and then you got domesticated dogs. This stuff been happening since we've been here. All right, so we see that all broccoli means, it comes from the Italian word broccolo, which means the flowering crest of cabbage. And then we got a derivative word, and it means brocco, which means small nail or sprout. All right. Now we got to get into the origins of broccoli. And the origins is really like two schools of thoughts. Anybody that need to know about my sightings or my research, look at the bottom left of each corner of the slides. I always give credit in the website or the researcher where I got this stuff from. So everything is credited, right? So it says when it comes to the origins of broccoli, there are two schools of thought. Some believe that broccoli was created by humans in a lab, which that is a false belief. It was not. While others believe that broccoli is a naturally occurring vegetable, which it is not a naturally occurring vegetable. Man had something to do with them both. It says the truth, however, is somewhat in the middle. While it is true that broccoli was created by humans, yes, it was not created in a lab. Instead, broccoli was created by crossbreeding two existing vegetables. And we're going to talk about what hybrid is. It says the cabbage and the kale. So that's actually where broccoli come from, the cabbage and the kale. This process was first performed in the 16th century, and resulting vegetables was called broccoli. Broccoli is a nutritious vegetable that is packed with vitamins and minerals. It's very, very mineral dense, y'all. I don't know any other vegetable that's actually mineral dense like broccoli once we get down to the molecular structure, but that's like 20 minutes in, y'all. It's going to blow your mind. And we talking about scientific analysis, taking these things to the actual laboratory and testing the phytochemicals, the phytonutrients, and the ingredients of these things, y'all. It says broccoli is a versatile vegetable that can be used in a variety of recipes, and it is a popular ingredient in many healthy dishes. Now, when was broccoli created and how? In the 1500s, broccoli was created from kale, the predecessor, by selecting for a larger flower cluster. So you get the largest flower cluster of cabbage and kale, right? And you crossbreed them, right? It says clusters that would mature before blooming. So before that crest actually unfolded and bloomed while it was still in its closing stage, that's when they picked it and mated it, y'all. And I'm gonna show you how I did it. It's beautifully done if you think about it. It says botanically known as Brassica Italica, is native to the Mediterranean. Now, y'all already know when you go deep back into the Levant and you start studying ancient Mediterranean people who gonna start popping up. It says it was engineered from the cabbage relative by the Etruscans. So now we got to find out who these Etruscans people is and how smart they was. An ancient Italian civilization who lived in what is now called Tuscany. All right, these people was considered to be geniuses, y'all. Straight geniuses. So now we starting to talk about the Italians and the ancient Romes, and we got to put a face to these people, because I notice a lot of y'all blame a lot of hybrids on the white man. Y'all, you know, the white man food and the white man this and the white man that. Y'all don't even know that some hybrids is actually good, and it was actually melanated faces and melanated intellect that even created hybridization. They the one who started it. This was not started by a white man. Now, GMO was started by the government officials and started by, you know, a different people. But once you start getting into natural selection and hybriding, this actually comes from a melanated face, family. So let's face the facts. Now, all of these things actually come from what you call a wild mustard plant. A wild mustard plant still grows. This comes from a mustard seeds. Out of this mustard plant, you have 22 different varieties of hybrid that you eat every day that you didn't even know was a part of the mustard plant, that you didn't even know was a cruciferous vegetable, family. So we have to stop just throwing out words loosely like it's a hybrid, it's not alkaline, it's going to kill the body, it's acid forming. You technically don't know what you're talking about from a scientific intelligence standpoint. And we just got to learn to be quiet and close our mouth sometimes and really do the study and the due diligence of putting in the work before we just get on social media and start using Twitter fingers or IG fingers and Facebook fingers, because it's a lot of misinformation being spread. And then how the minds of our people is so gullible. I've been doing this for 10 years. I have my certifications. I'm partnered with laboratories. I'm in the laboratories. We in the fields. I have my own clinic. I have my own medical equipment. I got all of this stuff. We have thousands of healing testimonies. You will read something or hear something you got from a YouTube video 5 hours ago, listening to any teacher, and you would hear this, and then you would go on my page and you would say I'm wrong when you just studied this, and you ain't even studied it. You heard it from somebody. I actually studied this. My boots is in the ground. My boots in the field. I'm plucking and pulling these things from the soil. We testing them in the laboratories. And this is how the internet works. You would say I'm wrong and then mention a famous teacher or a famous doctor. You know what I'm saying? And just because you did that, you will start changing the mindset of the people, and people will actually think I'm wrong, because we are a people that do not study to show ourselves approved. And that's the reason why I always promote, hey, study what I'm saying. Take everything I say as a lie. Make sure everything I tell you, look it up. Not only look it up, get out there in the field. If I say it's good for you, instead of studying to see if it's good for you, actually take that ingredient. Take that ingredient for 30 days and see if it changed your molecular structure or not. See if it yields you more ATP or not, which stands for adenosine triphosphate. See if it actually heals your body. Because we know in the healing kingdom with the real healers that the more power of vitality you have, that's how healthy you is. The more energy you yield, that's equivalent to your health. If you're down in energy and down in power and down in vitality, then that means you're becoming sick, and your telomeres that's on your DNA is rusting off, and you're dying due to oxidative stress. But the more energy you yield, the more power you got, that equals healthy living, or that equals a body that's in homeostasis. So we have to watch that, y'all. So I don't care what I'm saying. If y'all see this, still go look it up for yourselves, because I could just be copying and pasting stuff, y'all, which I'm not. I would never do my people like that, but I'm just saying. So we got the wild mustard plant. And look, this actually gives, the faith of a mustard seed. Don't that make that scripture pop a little bit more? Because we're talking about some of the most healing vegetables on planet Earth. And all of these healing vegetables actually come from a mustard seed. We got to talk about that. All right, so it's showing you just all the things that came from this actual mustard plant, the wild mustard plant. And the first thing you got was the wild cabbage. And then right after the wild cabbage, you got the wild kale. And then the wild kale mixed with the wild cabbage created everything else. But I'm going to show you guys an actual diagram for you can see these things yourself, okay? So you see we got kale, collard greens, you got the Chinese broccoli were created by making the leaves of the ancestral plants leaves bigger. You see that? And that's how it happened. And this happened sometimes before 300 BCE. Then you start seeing collard greens being developed in Europe. The Chinese start domesticating them, and then you see them coming over here. Before 1920, broccoli wasn't even really known inside of the USA. What happened was some converted Italians came over here, and they wanted to bring their food with them, because everybody always bring their food with them. We're the only people that don't have a food, and now, thanks to me and a couple other healers, we're starting to find out what our actual food is, which is fruitarian or frugivores, the fruits. is our food. The vegetables is for our healing. But anyways, some converted Italians came over here in like 1919, and then in 1920 they brought some of the broccoli with them, and what they did was they shipped a big old package, a crate, to New York because there was a whole Italian community out there that wanted some broccoli, and they sold out of all the broccoli that they got from Italy in like a week, and that's how tons of broccoli started flooding into the USA by two Italian brothers. Just the history. We must know the history of our food. So when you look at this diagram, it talks about 6 vegetables. Remember, it's 22, but we only going to talk about 6 of them. 6 vegetables that are from the same plant. All right, now we're talking about over hundreds of years, farmers have been breeding one plant. All right, over hundreds of years, farmers have been breeding one plant. Don't it sound like how the oppressors bred us? They only bred the tall ones, the bulky ones, with the tall women to make sure that they had strong, bulky males and females to work in cotton fields. I mean, look, selective breeding been going on for hundreds of years, whether it's from our oppressors or whether we do it. We selectively breed all the time. You won't lay down and mate with an unattractive male woman. You know you won't, because you're interested in his characteristics, and subconsciously you know that y'all laying down, y'all might procreate, and you don't want forgive me for my saying, but you don't want no ugly baby, or you don't want a short baby, or you don't want babies with these type of features. I remember back in middle school, we used to always talk about how we wanted to lay down with light-skinned girls with blue eyes for our children can have blue eyes. Of course, we was indoctrinated at the time, and we didn't understand that brown melanated eyes were a prize in life, due to being me a melanated person, just like I would think that a blue-eyed Caucasian would think that his looks and his features was beautiful himself. So, we didn't know back then, but I noticed that we have that subconscious selective breeding on our mind in the first place. And then if you even look at a human and you look at the molecular structure of a human and how we made of prokaryotes and prokaryotic cells and eventually evolved into what you call eukaryotes and eukaryotic cells, and you look at our ancestral DNA that comes out of Western Africa, and not only Western Africa, but if you really dig deep into research, it shows you the American Aboriginals DNA that they're finding right now in Sedona. They finding right now, in Tennessee. They finding right now especially in Arizona, y'all, but all across the USA, how our DNA is so different from everybody else. When you really sit back and look at us as humans, we are a hybrid. Humans are a hybrid. So humans are a hybrid. Most of your foods are a hybrid. Let's not talk about the Anunnaki story. Let's not talk about the Bible. When you start getting into the book of Genesis and how God said, let us make man in our image and after our likeness, who is the us? You got to start asking yourselves these questions. Then you get the first man. And then, it's so many different. Every religion has a hybrid story of the creation of man. Every religion. Then now scientists are now backing it up that humans are in fact hybrid. So how can we knock a hybrid food when your ass is hybrid? I'm just saying, family, we got to make it make sense. You don't even realize that you're a hybrid. So we just got to really start thinking about these things, family. So now look, check out the diaphragm. You look at the whole mustard plant, it grows up. Notice that the leaves, when they get big and they mature, this becomes the kale. All right. And then when you actually get to the top and it flowers out, this is what you call the cabbage. When you mix these two things together, you get the broccoli. Look how the Brussels sprouts are made. Look how the cauliflower sprouts are made. All of these things actually come from one plant. You just take different parts of the plants, different body parts of the plants, and you breed them in certain ways after you mature them. And then they start producing certain characteristics and traits of their own. It happens all the time. Same thing with the wolf. You breed a wolf with a lesser wolf and you keep that breeding going for hundreds of years, you're going to end up with a dog. You're going to end up with a German shepherd. You're going to end up with a husky. You're going to end up with a different type of breed. Same thing with the felines and then the cats. You keep breeding them for so long, you're going to end up with a different type of cat. Okay, it's the same exact process. All I'm saying is, y'all, this has been going on for thousands and thousands and thousands and thousands of years. Who the hell to say that it is wrong? That's all I'm saying. If our ancestors been doing this for thousands of years and they've been living long and they was able to build pyramids and do all the things that they have done with their intellectual capacity off hybrid food, then who are we to even question it? Especially if we're going to look in these things and we see all the phytonutrients and phytochemicals and how it is ridding the body of all diseases, y'all. But that's deeper into it. It's deeper into it. I want to show y'all a video real quick.
This time on A Moment of Science, broccoli pedigree. A Moment of Science. You know, there's a reason you've never come across wild broccoli growing out in the woods. It never came from the wild. Believe it or not, broccoli is a human invention. It was bred from wild kale by carefully selecting for specific traits, just like how we've derived dozens of dog breeds from the wild wolves. Start with a wild kale. It has small flower buds and only flowers every other year. In a controlled environment,
check this out, y'all.
To reproduce itself many times over. When you happen to get one that has larger, tastier buds, take the rest away and keep producing that one. Next batch, you might happen to get a plant with large buds that also reproduce more often. Save that one and keep going. By selecting and reinforcing traits we like, we've taken a wild kale and bred a new plant altogether. In fact, cauliflower, Brussels sprouts, and the form of cabbage we eat were all bred from wild kale and didn't occur in nature until we came along.
You hear what she said?
I'm Andy Stripe, and this has been A Moment of Science.
She say most of the stuff we eating right now actually came from actual the wild cabbage plant or the wild mustard seed. So, you know, everything that you eating. So if you're eating kale, technically you're eating a hybrid. If you do your deep research, it will show you that. You know, but we say kale is alkaline, which it is. You know, we say, so it's time to quit throwing out big old words and just quit throwing out stuff as if it's true. And we need to just be quiet, put our hands over our mouths, open our eyes and our ears, study more diligently before we start teaching false information. Now, when you look at this beautiful broccoli that's growing, notice on the side of the broccoli is the actual kale leaf. If you pluck this kale leaf off and you replant that leaf alone and you keep doing that for the 100 selections, eventually you're going to have kale. But if you look at this actual flowering, this small bud, this is actually a cabbage if it grows and it flowers the correct way. So we see just by looking at broccoli in its growing stage what it comes from. So we can get rid of all of, it came from this and this and that. No, broccoli came from actually cross selective breeding, wild kale and wild cabbage. That's where it comes from. Now, I want to talk about the Etruscans. The Etruscans, or look, now check this out. The first Romans were black people called the Etruscans. Read the full history, even though Caucasians disagree. Now, you see a lot of Caucasians will disagree with this, but if you start reading they disagreements, it don't make no sense at all because they have to maintain, what they have done in Russia and what they have done with the Catholic Church and all these things. They got to maintain their power. So, of course, they're going to try to die down the information, but we talking about the African diaspora. When you actually look at the first Italians and the first Romans, they were actually melanated people, y'all. And if you want to read the whole article, I'll put the credits right down here. This will not be deleted. I will keep it up so you can go back through and look this stuff up yourself. And if you go in ancient Russia and you go into Italy and you start looking in their vaults and you start looking in their museums, you're going to see a lot of big-lipped, nappy hair, or what I'm going to call non-ether coil hair, big nose, brown-faced people. These are the people that actually created hybriding of the actual wild mustard plant. Just like if you go back far enough, you're going to see that the actual Natufian tribe is the ones who cultivated what you would call grains or cereal grains today. They actually cultivated it from something you would call einkorn wheat. Einkorn wheat is now called amber wheat. Amber wheat came to trichicum, and then now you get buckwheat, you get spelt. Spelt is actually a hybrid. Not only is spelt is a hybrid wheat, spelt actually have gluten in it. And and it have something called prolamine in it. And this gluten mess up the body. So, even when you start breaking down different things that we call alkaline, these are hybrids, family. And a lot of them are not even good for the body. And we're going to go and look into this stuff. I'm just trying to open your eyes and let the information expand. It's time to keep growing with the information. Why do the information got to stop with a certain person? I don't never want the information to stop with me. I want all of my students to be greater than me, have more intellectual capacity and neurological mobility than me. I want them to be able to teach better than me. I want them to be able to heal better than me. Because if your student don't actually beat you or proceed you or outgrow you, then you are a bad teacher. Let me say that again. If your students who learn and remember from you don't outgrow you and the information do not evolve, then that means you are a piss poor teacher. So shouts out to Dr. Sebi. That means he wasn't a piss poor teacher. That means he was one of the best teachers in the world because I'm evolving the information. Shouts out to Dr. Africa. Shouts out to Baba Aris. Shouts out to Dr. Amos Wilson. Shouts out to John Henrik Clark. Shouts out to Yakanan Ben Yosef. We are evolving the information, which means that they were perfect teachers. What is y'all talking about? So let's talk about the Etruscans. Let's keep going. Now, it says, why did the Etruscans create broccoli? Broccoli is a human invention. It was bred out of wild cabbage plant. It was cultivated to have a specific taste and flavor that would be palatable to people. So they did it to change it because back then, you talking about a wild mustard or wild cabbage, it was hideous. It was super, super bitter because it has a chemical compound called sulforaphane or glucoraphanin in it that makes it very, very tangy and very bitter. So, you know, these are black intellectuals or melanated intellectual people. They like, look, I know that this wild mustard plant and this wild cabbage is very, very good for us, but we can't damn near even get it down for it can detox our bodies because it's like Yaki's 3 bitters. How about we hybrid it and crossbred some of these genetics out of it for we can make it taste more palatable to our tongue? And that's exactly what they did. And they ended up with the broccoli. And broccoli was good for them. It was a staple in a community for hundreds of years. But what happened was this. They did not know that the way they crossbreeded it would turn it into a super freaking food, y'all. It turned into a super freaking food. But when you being intellectual, you know, the creator bless you when things like that happens. Things like that happen, family. So we see that. All right, now let's keep going. Now, let's talk about hybrids because a lot of people have the actual word hybrid misconstrued. So let's talk about what hybrid mean. All right, so hybrid means selective breeding, genetically an organism that is a offspring of genetically dissimilar parents or stock. Okay, now check this out. Especially offsprings produced by breeding plants or animals of different varieties or breeds or species. It's totally different from a genetically modified organisms. It's totally different from a genetically modified organism. Yes, a tasty accident. Yes, you sure right, guys. That's exactly what it is. And that's the reason why we named this whole lecture broccoli. The actual hybrid, they got right. And then when you think about they is actually our ancestors, this goes super, super hard. This go hard. It was our ancestors the whole time. We've been blaming other people for this. No, I'm taking all the credit. We created hybridization. Hybrid fruits or those that are crossbred to create produce that maximizes desirable traits. These includes increased durability, production yield, size of fruits or vegetables, and improved taste. This is not a new process. In fact, this process have occurred for over tens of thousands of years. In fact, nature will naturally hybrid plants for the survival of that plant species. Man do not even have to have his hand involved in it. Because nature would do it itself. Nature would do it itself, family. Now, this is coming from the government. Y'all can look up this citation. Look up the site. Look up cite it. It says hybridization. Natural hybridization is a frequent phenomenon in plants and can lead to the formation of new species, or sometimes it can decline a species through genetic assimilation and introgression. See, so sometimes you can hybrid something and it will actually decline, or it will actually erase a whole species out of the bloodline. And if you look at, white supremacy, genetic superiority, genetic inferiority, that's what's happening amongst us. They, a lot of the different 7 root races were trying to actually breed the melanin up out of us. But, we don't die. We multiply. We Jacob kids. We Yaquab kids. So, we constantly multiplying like cockroaches out here. Ain't no hybriding us out. We here to stay, baby. We here to stay. All right, now let's talk about the difference. Here go GMO. GMO is a genetically modified organism. Now, let me show you this. Let me show you something. So This is the reason why they created GMO, because they tried the hybriding stage, but it took such a long process because it was so natural, even when man had his hands in it. And you can't really predict how the plant is going to come out, because still nature have at least 98% to do with man-made hybridization. I mean, even though man is actively doing it, it's still up to nature on how that plant or how that species is going to turn out. So what happened was, you got this new biotech that came in the last in this century, where they was like, you know what, we ain't gonna even deal with God, period. We're going to go inside of the plant and go inside of the animals, open up their DNA, and we're going to add the genes we want to add, and we're going to actually be 100% correct in our outcome. That's called playing God. Me hybriding two plants is not me playing God. That's me being smart and trying to create natural selection and breeding. For instance, we would not still be surviving if it wasn't for hybridization, but we're going to talk about that. So we bringing out the facts today. But, GMO literally means you're going to genetically modify the organism. You're going to take a gene, or you're going to take a different characteristics of deoxyribose nucleic acid, these genes, and with these gene splicing biotechnology, and you're going to put it in an animal that it can't even go in. See, the thing about hybridization, right, is a cat cannot mate with a dog. So a cat can hump a dog, and a dog can hump a cat. A dog can even ejaculate in a cat. But you won't see a cat dog come from up out of that, because their DNA is so far apart on the deoxyribose nucleic spectrum that they cannot co-create together. You see what I'm saying? But guess what man can co-create with? A pig and a sheep. You see what I'm saying? But they can't but a actual dog and a cat can't co-create, just like a dog and a human cannot co-create. So what these people have done was they realized that you can't do that, showing you that even unnatural hybridization is still natural, because certain things you just can't co-create with, but certain plants can co-create. Notice that, they use the same plant as a part of the same plant family to make broccoli. You can't do that with a cat and dog. So the whole point of GMO, genetically modified organisms, is since the cat and dog DNA does not assimilate with each other, and it is so far apart with each other. Say if I wanted to build the best dog ever, this dog got intuitive thoughts like a cat do. This dog runs fast. When it falls from off a building, it lands on its feet. He got a key sense of vibration like cats do. Say I got a dog, I want a beautiful dog, but I wanted to have all the instincts and all the characteristics of the cat. Well, since I can't mate them to do that, I'm going to create biotechnology that I call GMO organisms, genetically modified organisms. I'm going to go inside the DNA of this cat. I'm going to get all the sequence genes that I want to predict or I want to put inside this dog. Once I get them on the Petri dish, I'm going to freeze them over, mix them with biotechnology. Then I'm going to go to the dog and I'm going to enter it into the dog's DNA, all these different cat species that naturally was not supposed to go there in the first place. This is called GMO. That is not broccoli. That is not broccoli. No, that's some whole nother thing we got going on. That's playing God. See, that's playing God. So certain species cannot mate because they do not share enough similar DNA to do so. So for scientists to get the exact characteristics and traits they desire, they must purposely alter the DNA. See, that hybriding is not altering the DNA, but GMO is. GMO stands for genetically modified organisms, as in animals, plants, or microbe whose DNA have been altered using genetic engineering techniques. Within the last few decades, modern advances in biotechnology have allowed scientists to directly modify the DNA of microorganisms, crops, and animals. This is very, very dangerous. It's heating up in here. I'm getting hot, y'all. I'm getting hot. Then it goes into the actual story of genetically modified foods and the DNA and the history. I'm going to leave this up for 2 minutes, but for the sake of this lecture, I'm going to keep it pushing. So I'm going to leave this up for a minute just for y'all can pause it at this point and write y'all notes down. All right, now we got to get into broccoli pH balance, because I see that a lot of people do not understand metabolic acidosis, metabolic alkalosis, and metabolic pH neutralization when it's neutral. So in order to understand that, y'all got to have Yaki break it down and show y'all scientific proof of exactly what I'm talking about here. So when you actually get into the broccoli pH level, broccoli is slightly acidic. The pH, or stands for powered hydrogen, or the potential hydrogen, is around 6.30 to 0.85. Since it's almost neutral, it does not make the environment within the stomach more acidic. It don't upset the hydrochloric acid inside of the fungus of the stomach. It says even though broccoli is slightly acidic, check this out, it actually functions as a alkaline producing agent within the body. This is very, very important, family, because guess what? Everything that you think is alkaline is actually acid until it goes through its metabolic processes. And if you think I'm lying, let's go through it, family. I'm willing to stay on here and go through it with you today for you can truly understand what alkaline and acids is. Because I'm telling you right now, as a person who's been doing this for so long, y'all have no damn clue of what alkaline and acids is. You think you know, but you really don't. But today, when we're done with this presentation, you will know. In addition, broccoli contains essential vitamins like vitamin A or vital amines A, vital amine C, and vital amine K. That's where vitamin come from. It comes from vital minerals that's mixed with vital amines. When these minerals mix with amines, they create enzymes. These enzymes fire off and create certain type of reactions in the body that keeps you in a state of what you will call homeostasis. Okay? It says, which improve eye health and reduce cancer, is rich in antioxidants and fibers. It says, and it helps maintain a healthy blood pressure. All right, this is just some of the good things. Now, let's actually get into the pH potential hydrogen value approximate. It says broccoli fresh and raw is at a 6.7. Broccoli steamed is at a 6.62. Broccoli boiled is at a 6.88. Broccoli baked is at a 6.13. Broccoli frozen or cooked is at a 6.30 to a 6.8, and broccoli rabe is at a 6 to 7, y'all. Now, this is what we got to understand, because I know a lot of people like, so y'all kids now, not only is he going against Dr. Sebi, which I'm not, but that's what y'all say. Now, this Negro talking about alkaline is actually acid and acid is actually alkaline. I know it sounds crazy, so we going to break it down for y'all can understand or understand and overstand. So understanding alkaline versus acid, y'all. All right, before I do this, I just want to throw out credentials. I am a master herbalist. I am a biochemist. I have been doing this. I am a detoxification specialist. I've been doing this for many years. We do have thousands of healing testimonies. We know what we're talking about, family. So if you ain't been in the laboratory and you ain't tested these things yourselves, please sit down and go through the information and dig and read, unless you're going to go through all of those thousands and thousands of hours of clinical trials and go to the laboratory yourself. All right. Now, alkaline and acidity of foods and metabolic reactions. That's the only way you can truly test if it's alkaline or not, through the metabolic reaction. You can check this reaction through your urine after you get done eating these things, and that's the only thing you eat within that 24 to 48 hour time period. That's what we usually do to our subjects, or what we call our clients. We make sure that that's the only thing we eat, and we check their urine, and we check the metabolic actual ash of the urine when they get up the first thing in that morning, or we wait 48 hours, or you can check the feces and check the actual ash of the feces. We're not looking for fire and we're not looking for water. We're looking for minerals. Electrolytes is what tells you whether it's alkaline forming or acid forming, your actual minerals. Depending on which minerals it is, it's going to let you know, oh, this is acid. Oh, this is alkaline. Notice it's all based off of the minerals. So when foods are consumed, they are oxidized in the body, which results in the formation of a residue, or what you'll call ash, y'all. I need y'all to really listen to this. In this residue, if the minerals are sodium, right, Na+, potassium, right, K+, chlorine, CH-, or an uncombusted organic acid radical, they are designated as alkaline ash foods. So after you go through and you eat this food, say if I eat this broccoli right now, and then my body goes through its metabolitic process, right? The mitochondria now is using these glucose sugars from the broccoli. That ash that comes from the mitochondria then get cleaned out through your poop and your urine. Once you test that ash and you find out that that ash have more sodium, potassium, calcium, and magnesium than these other minerals I'm finna mention, this is what you will call an alkaline food. See that? It's not for testing it before you put it in your mouth. Who cares about? Who gives a damn about that acid and alkaline? That ain't gonna do nothing for me. I want to know if it's alkaline and acid once it hit my bloodstream and get converted. Once it goes through its metabolic changes. Like for instance, aldine. Aldine actually goes in actually acidic. It's called aldine. Then it gets charged with a negative charge, or electron actually hops on the translation chain of it. Then it becomes aldehyde. See that? So I'm worried about aldehyde, not aldine. Aldine is acidic, but aldehyde is actually alkaline because it went through a change of electrons and protons. See that? Now, what we talking about? We talking about cations and anions, catalytic environments and anionic environments. See, this is simple biochemistry. So before we learn this simple biochemistry, it's best that we keep our mouth shut if we don't know what we talking about, family. And that's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. So broccoli, even though it starts off acidic, when it meets my bloodstream and it gets charged up into these negative charges, it becomes alkaline forming. And most of your fruits is like that, and we finna go through them. All right, now check this out. It says predominantly over sulfur, phosphorus, predominantly over sulfur and phosphorus. So if you see sulfur and phosphorus being left behind and a lot of iron, y'all, unless that iron get charged and turned into iron phosphate, hey, I'm just keeping it 100 with you. That it's acidic. See that? So we run around and say, you need iron, you need iron. No, you're understanding it wrong. You need iron phosphate, iron fluorine. You see that? So, and that's the reason why Sabi he gave you the whole name of iron, because iron oxide is acidic as hell. When you test it, it's going to jump off the charts. It's going to be electrical. But boy, that change in your body is going to break down the molecular structure because it's acidic forming, because it yields oxidative stress by peroxide. All right. It says, boom, 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 designated to alkaline ash foods. The converse of this is true for foods designated in acid ash foods. Numerical values of alkalinity or acidity are determined in look, this come from an actual geneticist, and this come from biochemists like myself. It says, in order to really determine this ain't nothing you can buy off Amazon for $30 to test whether it's alkaline or acid. This ain't nothing you can buy off of or Google. You actually got to really test this stuff. And look what he said. He said to even determine the numerical value of alinity and acidity, they are determined in long, painstaking analytical laboratory work, y'all. So if you ain't been in no laboratory, we can't be saying what we know. All right. It says the concentrations of the various elements are determined separately and then computed in terms of equivalence. It says the excess of one group of minerals over the other is expressed as a cubic centimeters of normal, acid or base, alkaline, per 100 grams edible. It says this value obtained is called the degree of acidity and alkalinity. That's how you test it. So now we see, even though the broccoli is acidic before it hits the body, we see that it's alkaline once it goes through its metabolic change. Now, I know a lot of people are gonna be like, okay, Yaki, but look, let's keep going, because guess what? The same thing is for your chickpeas or your garbanzo beans. Same thing. They're acidic as hell until it goes into the body. Now, if some of these garbanzo beans not sprouted, guess what? It's still acidic even once it goes through its metabolic process. That's why we tell people that's healing, slow down on the garbanzo beans, because they can be mucus stimulants or mucus forming. Garbanzo beans are alkaline or acid. Garbanzo beans are acidic. It says, what pH balance level is our garbanzo or chickpeas? It says they are 5.5 on the potential hydrogen scale. It says when you eat food, it breaks down into an ash residue that can be neutral, alkaline, or acidic. Minerals such as potassium, calcium, magnesium, sodium, zinc, silver, copper, and iron produce an alkaline ash. Whereas sulfur, now the reason why I want to expound on sulfur, because we're talking about broccoli. Phosphorus, chlorine, and aldine, told y'all aldine, which is in meat, dairy, and alcohol, is acidic. But notice when you eat the aldine, it changes to aldehyde, it becomes alkaline. Not saying that if you get it from your meat though, because these are different charges. Your papayas is even acidic. They had a 5.5 to a 5.9. Ooh-wee. Look, some of them at a 3.2 to a 4.5. But when it goes inside of the actual body, guess what? It's alkaline forming. Y'all see that? I'm just showing y'all this to show you, because a lot of people gonna say, well, that's not true. So we gonna go through the whole list then. What about your key limes? Due to the presence of hydroxyl ions, the solution is alkaline. See that? So after it goes through its analytic process, its ionization process, it becomes alkaline. But guess what? Your key limes is on a 2.8 on the potential hydrogen scale. That's acidic as hell. We talk hydrochloric acid is at a 1. So your key lime juice is damn near close to the acid that's being produced by your stomach. But notice how it has an actual alkalining effect on the body. See that? Alkaline forming foods, acidic forming foods. This is what we need to be really getting into to understand the difference between alkaline and acids. Now let's talk about the grapes. I've personally done seen so many different ailments, so-called irreversible ailments, completely reversed and healed from grapes. Grapes is one of the most hydrative, astringent, alkalining with seeds, fruits on planet Earth. But yet we see that it is acidic with a 1.9 to a 4 or a 3.15 to 3.4. So you're going to have to ask yourself, and you have to get yourself into the mindset of what we're talking about here. How the hell is these foods acidic? How? And then we got people calling them alkaline. That's why when people say certain things alkaline, I know they don't know what they talking about. You ain't looked this stuff up. You ain't been to the laboratory, because if you tested that, it will not show alkaline. It's only going to show alkaline unless you test the actual poop and pee, that residue ash, after the body metabolically process and break it down. And that got to be within the first 24 to 48 hours of the subject actually being on clinical trials. Yeah, I know. We learned something new today. Everybody wants to say pineapple is a hybrid. Pineapple is acidic. Yes, it's acidic starting out, but pineapple has one of the most alkalining effects on the body, family. Pineapples is good for cleansing the eyes. Now, of course, too much of it, and if you catch it in its unripened state, it will burn your tongue. But that's the same thing with key limes. The same thing with key limes. Put some key limes. I've been wearing key limes under my armpits for the last 12 years. That burn like hell sometimes, especially when you get it on the skin. So, all of these different fruits, or what you call citric fruits, have a acid blowback, but it has an alkaline forming metabolic rate process inside of the body, family. All right, let's get back to the lesson. I just had to go on that, to show y'all. Now, let's say we get a microscope, and when we get our microscope, we're going to do a chemical and molecular look into broccoli. So I'm going to cut this broccoli in half. When I cut this broccoli in half, we're going to start seeing things. So I'm getting my microscope. I'm getting in my laboratory white coat. I got a piece of broccoli. I'm finna cut it in half. It's time to go in, family. Please make sure that y'all are screen recording this just in case they pull it down, and make sure y'all writing this stuff down. And I'm gonna save this video as well. All right. The first thing that you're going to see when you actually cut this broccoli open and you look at it under a thermoelectronic microscope, you're going to see an actual phytochemical called glucosylonate. Now, glucosylonate is a precursor to these things that we're going to be talking about. So glucosylonate, or natural compounds of many plungent plants such as mustard, cabbage, and horseradish. So when you get that taste and it burns your palate and it burns the back of your head, and you start having mucus come from your nose, and you start having mucus come from your body, that's the glucosinolates, y'all. The glucosinolates. I'm going to say it like that because pronouncing it the right way, I always say it wrong. So we're going to call it glucosinolates. So it says the pungency of these plants is due to mustard oils produced from the glucosinolates when the plant material is chewed, cut, or otherwise damaged. So when you damage the actual cellulose mucous membrane wall of the plant and you break through the chloroplasts of the plant want to protect itself. And this protection that the plant gives itself, because it thinks that an insect or a rodent is trying to eat it, so it's going to give itself these natural pesticides and these natural insecticides, chemicals that all plants produce. And this shows you why we're truly not herbivores, we're frugivores, because your fruits don't do this, but herbs do. And we don't have the stomach capacity or the capability to most of these vegetables to even get away from the lectins and get away from the saponins and the tannins, these things that are literally anti chemicals. For real, anti-nutrients to you. They're anti-nutrients, but they do something to the body like herbs that's going to make you purge and kick on a detoxification mechanism. So let's just read it real quick. Glucosinolates are natural compounds in many plungent plants such as mustard, cabbage, and horseradish. This pungency of these plants is due to mustard oils produced by glucosinolates when the plant material is chewed, cut, or otherwise damaged. So when you bite into these things, it's a producing chemical that's going to come and protect the plant. But the way the creator work, these chemicals that kill a rodent and kill an insect will actually do something poisonous to you, just like all herbs do something poisonous to you, and you will get a purgatory effect from it, and you're able to cleanse your body of all the mucus, metabolic waste, toxemia, and all the things that is damaging your cells, free radicals, all of these things is building up. These natural chemicals most likely contribute to the plant defense. See that? So this comes from the plant defense against pests and diseases. So even when diseases creep up, say like fungus, because fungus and mold can sometimes take over crops. Glucosinolates will produce that self. Then this will produce something called glucoraphanin. Glucoraphanin will then be changed by something called myrosinase, and then myrosinase will create sulforaphane. This sulfur that's produced will actually kill the disease and purge it or detoxify it from the plant or from the body, y'all. It's crazy. It says an impact of a characteristic bitter flavor property of the cruciferous vegetable family. All right. If y'all got that so far, type in some nines. I know we finna start getting into a lot of big names and a lot of big words, so I want to make sure that y'all are keeping up with me. If y'all got that so far, type in some nines, family, and we will keep going. If y'all got that so far, type in some nines. Okay, perfect. Make sure that y'all not paying attention to the chat. Pay attention to the lesson. That way y'all can really digest and ingest all of this information. Okay, I see some nines in the building. Okay, now, once that actual glucosinodates get activated, an enzyme kicks on, and this enzyme is going to create something called isothiocyanate. So all of this is coming from this broccoli or this cruciferous family. So then once isothiocyanate is created, this is our organic chemistry. Isothiocyanates is a functional group, and it's formed, and it substitutes for oxygen. I say, so isothiocyanate is a group of sulfur, y'all. Now tell me, look, the enzymic reaction to the isothiocyanates is crazy. This stuff detoxifies the body. It cleanses the body. It kicks on something called glutathione. Glutathione is your main chemistry to help detoxify your cells while you're sleeping. You see that? So it's a lot of amazing things going on with inside of the plant kingdom, especially inside this broccoli that's good for your body. And we're going to show you what the glucosinoate does, what the isothiocyanate does, and then you get into there. Now, here go a enzyme. This enzyme is called myrosinase. Myrosinase is actually made by the plant. Once you break it, myrosinase actually turn isothiocyanates into sulforaphane or glucoraphanin. And you need sulforaphane and glucoraphanin to start the detoxification phase of your cells. So say if you smoked a cigarette, and then right after you smoke that cigarette, even though you're getting all this benzene acid, all this acid built up on your lungs that's creating tars, and it's going to eventually cause you to have lung cancer. If you just eat a stalk of broccolis, what's going to happen immediately an hour after you eat that broccoli and the digestive system starts, the moment you bite into the broccoli, you know the glucosinolates is going to start. Then after that, you keep chewing, it's going to react with isothiocyanate. Then the isothiocyanate is going to actually use this enzyme called myrosinase, and it's going to kick on something called glucoraphanin. Then the glucoraphanin will use the myrosinase again, and it's going to turn something called sulforaphane. Now, what this sulforaphane is going to do is it's going to find the damaged cells inside of the lungs from you just smoking, and it's going to actually purge them out of the body. You're going to start coughing. Coughing these different toxemias out for you smoking the cigarettes. You're going to start sneezing, hachoo, getting rid of the particles because of the sulforaphane and the myrosinase is actually turning on something called the NRF2 gene. And this NRF2 gene is called the NRF2 pathway. And y'all hear me talk about it all the time. I talk about a fontanelle, which is called a pathway of elimination, or alternative pathway of elimination. Now you guys actually have the name of it, NRF2 pathway gene. And this NRF2 pathway gene is a doorway that actually detoxifies the cells naturally from you eating things that's a part of the cruciferous family, y'all. And we're talking about broccoli. I'm not talking about nothing but broccoli right now, y'all. Broccoli. I'm not talking about kale. I'm not talking about cabbage. I'm talking about broccoli, because when you start looking up sulforaphane is 100 times more high in broccoli than it is any other vegetables. Not only that, when you get to broccoli sprouts is 100 times higher than broccoli, the sulforaphane. So the more broccoli sprouts you eat in a raw state, you're actually healing the body by detoxification, showing you that broccoli is actually an herb, y'all. And it might just be one of the most astringent healing herbs on planet Earth to me. The more and more I start researching this thing, like, damn, this thing is moving like plantain leaf. This thing is moving like poke root. This thing is moving like sarsaparilla inside of the bloodstream. This thing is moving like man, I mean, it's moving. It reminds me of your most astringent herb, and my most astringent herb will actually be my plantain leaf, and it will be my actual sarsaparilla. For real. And I mean, this is how it's working inside the body. So I don't even look at broccoli as a food anymore. I look at it as a straight astringent herb. And we got all of the molecular structures on how this thing works and how it actually detoxifies the cells, family. All right, so now my racemase turn into glucoraphanin. Glucoraphanin then turns into sulforaphane, and sulforaphane kicks on something called glutathione. And remember, glutathione is an antioxidant in plants, animals, fungi, bacteria, and archaea. It says glutathione is capable of preventing damage to important cellular components caused by sources such as reactive oxygen species, free radicals, peroxides, lipids, peroxides, and heavy metals. So if you want to get heavy metals out of your body, eat some broccoli. Straight. I mean, it's a natural metal detoxifier. It's a natural peroxide detoxifier. It's a natural free radical detoxifier. It's a natural reactive oxygen species detoxifier. It's a natural toxemia buildup detoxifier. Once you break the actual tissues of the broccoli, and then it start producing all of the glucosionates and anthocyaninates and stuff like that, y'all. Let's keep going. All right, so now we seeing. Now remember, I was saying that all of this kick on something called the NRF2 gene. And I want to show y'all how the NRF2 gene actually works. So we see that the NRF2 gene pathway, or what we call the metabolic cleansing pathway, is inside of the cells. And you see the mitochondria, all right? So I just want to talk about cancer real fast. So when you speak about cancer, or you talk about cancer, and what they clinically say it is, of course, we know that it's due to a presence of acids and builds up in the body. And it goes through anaerobic means that you actually yielded your ATP without oxygen. And then you got aerobic. Aerobic mean that you needed oxygen and carbon to actually create this water that we call H3O2 for the mitochondria. The cell can actually yield ATP and get energy and vitality. Remember, I was telling you that your energy and your vitality, or your power, is how you indicate whether you healthy or you indicate whether you sick. If it goes up on the meter and you have more power, more vitality, and more energy, you're healthy. Your body is in a state of homeostasis. The more your power and your vitality and your energy go down and you have adrenal fatigue, that means you're on the side of death. And this happens. So when you go real high, that means you're using oxygen to yield your ATP or yield your vitality. When it goes down, that means you're not using oxygen, but you're using fungus to actually yield your vitality. See, the body is going to do everything to stay alive, especially the cells. So if the cells can't utilize oxygen, then it will actually go the mycelium way and use fungus to actually get ATP. All right. Now, they notice that when it goes the anaerobic non-oxygen fungus creation way, that's when the actual cell starts to corrode and lose 60%, 66% of its oxygen. And then they biopsy that cell. And then that's when they look at the cell and see the integrity of the cell. Of course, they're going to see the fungus, which is what we're going to call a microbe or a bacteria, or what you call a parasite. Then they're going to see the actual cell is deprived of 66% of its oxygen due to the anaerobic process of the cell because it's lacking oxygen. Then that's when they say you have cancer. Now, these things actually clunks themselves together because the body is smart, puts itself in the bag for it won't taint the blood, and you call this a tumor. Showing you that the NRF2 pathway, if it's opened up, it will keep this electronic chain cleansed of the actual mitochondria. So whenever we activate the NRF2 pathway, or the fontanelle, or what we're going to call a alternative route of elimination, we are cleaning out the poop from the mitochondria. We are cleaning out the urine from the mitochondria. And now we don't need it to go a fungus anaerobic way for me to yield energy. It can use oxygen to do so. If y'all got that so far, type in some nines. I know that was a little complex, but I really think that I explained that in a simplistic way. And if I did a good job at explaining that in a simplistic way, and you understand, and understand what I'm saying, please type in some nines and we'll keep it going. So it's important that we keep this NRF2 genes, or this keep one gene open for this eliminatory pathway can stay open. And guess what does that, y'all? Sulforaphane. Guess what sulforaphane come from? It come from glucoraphanin. Guess what glucoraphanin come from? It come from isothiocinates. Guess how all these things are actually turned on by the enzymic reaction called myrosinase. All this come from your Cruciferous family, but it comes highly compacted in your broccoli, y'all. Highly compacted in your broccoli. Okay, I'm glad y'all understand it. I be trying to dumb things down so much because I want to use all the scientific words, but I know I be up here speaking speaking ebonics to y'all if y'all really heard me say that. So look, so if you look in the bottom right, NRF2 protects the mitochondria by starting the detoxification phase. So we need to be focused on the NRF2 pathway inside of our bodies. Make sure y'all Googling this NRF2 gene. Look it up. Get familiar with it, because this is the way I've been healing all these diseases. I'm giving y'all all this free game. This is free. This is the way I've been healing all these diseases, because I knew about the keep one. I knew about the NRF2. I knew about glutathione. I knew about glucoraphanin. I knew about sulforaphane. I knew about saponins, tannins, quercetins. I knew about all of these different bioflavonoids that come from the food that actually is toxic to the body, and this toxicity caused the body to jump into a detoxification phase. So y'all think herbs heal the body? No, herbs are poisonous. Your body reacting to that poison is the same way as you drink a gallon of alcohol. You're gonna throw up. You're gonna wake up pooping everywhere, pooping and peeing and throwing up. Same thing that herbs do, because it throws the body into a detoxification stage, and you lose weight while doing it because you're pooping and you're throwing up the whole time. So you're losing weight, and the poison is turning on certain genes inside of the cells that's turning on a purgatory factor, kicking on the liver enzymic reactions, and starting this detoxification mechanism due to glutathione. That's what the herbs do. See, that we think that the herbs is actually healing the body. No, the body heals itself. The herbs are plunging the body because they toxic, because you are not an herbivore. You are a frugivore. So when you eat herbs, you're eating the herbs proteins, or what you'll call a complex amino acid structures like lectins. Yes, and these lectins or nightshades. Yes, you eating stuff like prolamines. You eating stuff like that, gluten. Wheat germ agglutinates. These are all things that comes from the vegetable kingdom that's actually poisonous to the body, but it has a good effect on the body because it activates the actual detoxification genes within inside of the cells. What? I'm just saying. Now let's keep going. All this comes from the broccolis. Now, I want to start really getting into what this NRF2 chain do with broccoli. So it says the NRF2 antioxidant response element signal pathway is its activation by antioxidative stress. All right. Now look what we going on here. It says in the summary, the NRF2R transcriptional pathway plays an important role in the regulation of genes that control the expression of proteins critical to the detoxification and elimination of ROS. You see that? The electrophils. Surprisingly, activation of the NRF2 or pathway may be important treatment to multiple sclerosis and any other disease. Because look, it says whether we're talking about neurological degenerative diseases like Alzheimer's, Parkinson's disease, and many others. So it's showing you the moment that we turn this pathway on and we start this pathway of elimination, that we start healing. What if I told you the fastest way to activate this is through the Cruciferous family? And we've been trying it, y'all, and it's been working. We got to talk about this, family. Now, let's see what activates this gene the fastest. And I'm telling y'all right now, and I'm gonna spoil it for y'all right now. What activate this gene the fastest is broccoli. And not only that, when we get deeper and deeper, Tell me why you actually have inside of your gut. If we was never supposed to eat broccoli, let me show y'all the creator work. I call my creator Yahweh. Let me show y'all Yahweh get down. Do y'all know that myrosinase is naturally occurring in the gut? And myrosinase is actually made to actually break down broccoli and convert glucoraphanin into sulforaphane to kick on the NRF2 gene. So why in the hell do I have a 10,000-year-old species called myrosinase enzymic bacteria inside of my gut that actually specifically break down broccoli if broccoli was never supposed to be invented in the first place? That's what I'm saying. It's like the intelligentsia of nature already knew what was going to go on in the future and already provided our guts the actual bacteria, myrosinase enzymic bacteria to break down myrosinase, to kick it on, to even turn broccoli into sulforaphane, to start the detoxification mechanism. And there's many other ones that happens like that in the stomach, but that's just crazy for this to be a hybrid and it not to be that old, that thousands of years before our people, melanated people, actually hybrided broccoli from the cabbage and kale. We already had the damn bacteria that is used. It's literally called the myrosinase bacteria. I mean, look it up. That's crazy. So it's like this was meant to happen anyways. Ooh-wee. Ooh-wee. Remember, y'all, don't comment until you actually listen to this whole presentation. Please don't have immature, premature comments because you're going to embarrass yourself. Now, let's talk about what these cruciferous families, specifically broccoli, do. Now, we know that heart disease is the number one death in mortality amongst USA citizens, United States citizens. A lot of us are dying of heart disease, a whole lot, especially. And I know y'all been seeing the athletes just drop dead of heart failure. I know y'all been seeing the celebrities just drop dead of heart failure. Millions of people are dropping dead of heart failure from around the world. And the social media and the televisions is doing everything in their power to cover it up. We all know where it came from, but I ain't gonna mention that because they're gonna shut my channel down. But we all know where it came from. We all know why everybody's just dropping dead of heart failure right now. It's only been within 2-3 years. We know what kicked off 2-3 years ago. We already know what kicked off. And then we know what they gave us for what kicked off, even though they created it in the first place. Then they gave us something and said it's supposed to combat what they created and kicked off 2 years ago. And now all of a sudden we got people dropping like flies of heart failure. But see, we're going to talk about that on my app, Yaki TV, when Yaki TV get open. Or we can talk about it on Rumble, but we do need to talk about it because a lot of athletes are dropping dead and dying. A lot of celebrities are dropping dead and dying. But since these are celebrities and, you know, they high profile, they got good PR teams, they going to put it on the news. What about the poor people? It's millions of poor people dropping dead, y'all. Dropping dead because they all got that, you know what? I'm just saying. All right, so we understand that heart disease or coronary heart disease is one of the number one mortality rates due to mankind, for real, but especially in the United States. So I want to show y'all what this says. This says cruciferous vegetables consumptions is associated with a reduced risk of total and vascular disease mortality. All right, check out what that just says. It says the cruciferous, and it's specifically talking about broccoli. We're going to read it. It says cruciferous vegetables consumptions is associated with a reduced risk of total and cardiovascular disease mortality, showing you that you live longer by a great percentage just by adding broccoli to your diet, or to your liver, should I say. Now, when we get down to this, it says we identified 3,422 deaths amongst women during a mean follow-up of 10 plus 2 years. So they actually had subjects. They actually had people, clinical trials. They did this over a decade process. It took them 10 plus 2 years. And 1,951 deaths among men during a mean follow-up of 4.6 years. Overall, fruits and vegetable intake was inversely associated with the risk of total mortality in both men and women. So it's saying amongst that, they noticed when they put them on fruits and vegetables, they noticed that their mortality rate went up. It says in a dose response pattern and particularly evidence of cruciferous vegetables intake. You keep reading the article, it's telling you that it was actually the broccoli. Y'all think I'm lying? Look up this for yourselves. Y'all can Google this title. This is the actual article. Actual article. I ain't copy and paste or none of that. I ain't copy and mess nothing up or none of that. I literally copied and pasted the article within the article. And this is showing y'all scientific clinical trials on how broccoli actually reduce cardiovascular disease and mortality by a big percent. All right, now check this out. It's if they took the total, what they did, this is what they did. And this was published in 2011 by the American Journal of Clinical Nutrition. It says they took the total population and divided them up by vegetable consumption. Those in the top 20% eating the most vegetables had a 16% reduction in all-cause mortality. So they dropped 16%. They dropped their mortality, meaning they had a 16% chance of living even longer. Those who ate cruciferous vegetables, which was the broccoli, check this out, they had 22% reduction in all-cause mortality. So we seeing right now that broccoli, the cruciferous hybrid plant, adds years to your life automatically. Hold on, let's keep going. Now, we went over heart disease, which was total mortality. Let's talk about prostate cancer. And we already talked to YouTube. Long as I'm showing the data from the government, I'm not even showing my own data because they hate my ass. They block me. So I'm showing the government data. As long as I'm showing the government data, they said they won't take this down. But see, if I show my own data, even though I got my own clinics and stuff like that, they don't like me so much. They give me strikes and stuff. So I'm showing the government data. The government. All right, let's talk about prostate cancer. Let's see what broccoli does to prostate cancer. Here goes the article. Ooh-wee. All right, fruit and vegetable intake and prostate cancer risk. It says there is extensive and consistent evidence that high fruits and vegetable intake are associated with decreased risk of many cancers, but results from prostate cancer risk have been inconsistent. So what they did, since it was consistent, they did their own study, y'all. We studied fruits and vegetable intake with prostate cancer risk in a population-based case-controlled study of men under 65 years of age. Now, this shows you their method. They methods in a case, they did participants. It was 620 men from King Country, Seattle, Washington, right? It says who were newly diagnosed with prostate cancer. So they was actually diagnosed with prostate cancer, family. They were actually diagnosed with prostate cancer. All right. It says controlled participation of 200 men. It says recruited from the same underlying population and frequently matched. Now, I want to show y'all what this did, y'all. This is crazy. This says for cruciferous vegetable consumption adjusted. And it's showing y'all how it was actually adjusted for the intake, and it gives y'all the intake. But look after the intake, the conclusion. These results suggest that high consumption of vegetables, particularly cruciferous vegetables, it's talking about the broccoli if you read the whole article, is associated with a reduced risk of prostate cancer. It says there was also a 41% decrease rate of prostate cancer amongst men eating 3 or more servings of cruciferous vegetables per week, with those eating less than 1 serving per week, even after controlling a total vegetable intake. So you ain't even got to eat that much. Me personally, I wouldn't eat that much of it anyway because they poison. Just like I wouldn't just go around eating bulks of herbs. You can die from it. You know, everything gonna have to come with a balance, but I'm just saying, vegetables, especially the broccoli, is out here healing all type, maybe healing. Let me say because I maybe healing cancer. But with the articles, it's saying it is healing cancer. And I'm gonna show y'all. Let's keep going. All right, now we're talking about stage of bladder cancer. What do the cruciferous vegetables, or what we call broccoli, does to bladder cancer? All right, check this out. Fruits and vegetables intake. It says an incidence of bladder cancer in male prospective cohorts. All right, now check this out. It even comes with an actual chart here. Y'all can look this stuff up. Here go the name of it. This the journal article. Here go the doctor's names, the journal name. All of it. And this comes from the Journal of National Cancer Institute. All right. And this just shows you that we observe a 51% risk reduction of bladder cancer among those consuming a high intake. See that? Compared to a low intake of cruciferous vegetables. So we just talking about with bladder cancer, a 51% risk reduction. Ooh-wee. And this is testing the cells, looking at the cells, seeing the integrity of the cells, seeing that these cells have this Philip 2 gene that actually causes cancer in the first place, then putting them on cruciferous vegetables, specifically the broccoli, and seeing the reduction go down by 51%. I'm just saying. Let's keep going. All right, so now we actually talking about the chemoprotective parts of the cruciferous family, and it's just talking about how it protects the cells, and it protects the cells from becoming cancerous with and also if you get chemotherapy, because a lot of people get chemotherapy, especially people with breast cancer, how eating the actual broccoli will actually detoxify the negative effects of chemotherapy out of the body. Yes, I just said that. And that this is real studies going on here. That when you eat the actual vegetables or the cruciferous family broccoli, particularly broccoli sprouts, you can actually expectorate chemotherapy treatment out of the body. All the negative effects of chemotherapy treatment out of the body. So it protects the body against chemotherapy, mustard gas treatment. Like who would have thought? Who would have knew? Ooh-wee. Now, check this out. It gets deeper. Oh, this is just talking about the same thing. Chemotherapy, glycosinonates, and isothiocyanates, broccoli sprouts, metabolize and secretion in humans. So this one actually got broccoli sprouts in the actual title. All the rest of them is talking about broccoli. All you got to do is pull the articles for yourself. All the information is there. The whole time they're talking about broccoli, but what they did, they just called it cruciferous vegetables. But the whole entire time they are talking about broccoli. Questions at the end, y'all. I'm not asking any questions right now. Please pay attention to the lesson. All right, now we're talking about breast cancer. We got to talk about breast cancer. What do broccoli do to breast cancer? Let's talk about it. So these are studies. All right. Conclusion. I'm going to read the conclusions first. It says our findings are consistent with the smoking related carcinogen effect of isothiocyanates, a group of phytochemicals equally present in cruciferous vegetables, it's talking about broccoli. Our data support consumption of a diet rich in broccoli vegetables may reduce the risk of lung cancer among smokers. Now they did this. Y'all have to read. This is crazy. I mean, it went down by 29%. Then it jumped up to 90%, showing you how clean it literally your broccoli. And it's different cruciferous that does that. Broccoli does it, kale do it, purple cabbage do it. And what does it in purple cabbage is something called anthocyanins. I'm not talking about anthocyanate. I'm talking about anthocyanins, which is in the actual purple cabbage family. It actually has something in it that actually gets benzene acid out of the lungs. It literally clears the lungs of tar from smoking. This don't mean that since you know that broccoli can potentially heal lung cancer that you should be smoking though. You know, don't be stupid and do that. But just showing you that if you are addicted to smoking and you do need to cleanse your lungs, of course you have other herbs, but broccoli it does a good job. Of course you got, lungwort, you got mullein leaf, you got coat's foot. These are other herbs that you can take, but now we have another herb that is amazing for cleansing the lungs of tar and all these different acids that's built up by the environment, cars, trucks, fossil fuels being burned, and of course gas and cigarettes. Broccoli, man. Broccoli is amazing, family. It is. You can't knock these studies. And these are the doctors' names, the scientists' names that did the clinical trials and all of that. I'm not making none of this up. All right, let me read this though. It says compared to those who consume less than 2.5 servings per month, consumers of greater than 4.5 servings of raw cruciferous vegetables, broccoli, per month had a 55% reduction in lung cancer risk. It's getting deeper and deeper. What about the breast cancer? We talked about the lung cancer. We talked about everything. What about breast cancer? All right, meta-analysis of studies of breast cancer risk and diet in Chinese women. And the reason why they chose to do Chinese women is because Chinese women eat way more cruciferous vegetables than us, particularly broccoli. They love broccoli and they love kale and they love cabbage. So they was thinking like, why not try those, So it talks about breast cancer and most malignant tumors in women. And you know that, women are now getting breast cancer like crazy. So I think any a woman, period, that's listening to this should be your favorite part of this whole entire lecture. Seriously threatens the physical and mental health of a woman throughout the world. This incidence of breast cancer is high in developed North America and Northern Europe countries, but lower in some Asian countries. And the reason why it's lower in Asian countries, including China and Japan, is because they eat a lot of cruciferous vegetables. Breast cancer accounts of 81% of all malignant tumors in women, and most for any type. Now check this out. They did a study and they talked about the brassica vegetable consumption and how it actually lowered their risk. It says our data support that in hypothesis that consumption of the brassica vegetable, which is talking about the actual broccoli, especially 1 or 2 servings per day, lowered the risk of breast cancer by as much as 20 to 40%, possibly by shifting the pathway of estrogen metabolism. So it even opened up the NRF2 gene to get rid of all the carcinogens that causes cancer, and it actually redirects estrogen to go to the reproductive system, and it balances out estrogen and estrogen, which is sexual hormones, because we know that estrogen and estrogen actually grows cancerous cells, because estrogen and estrogen is a cellular proliferator. Y'all see that, man? This is crazy, man. Crazy, not man, crazy. And then we got the citations, y'all. Look it up yourselves. Now, I want to talk about what you're not supposed to do to broccoli, because if you do certain things to the broccoli, you will actually not only inhibit, but you would deactivate the enzyme myrosinase that actually turns the glucoraphanin into sulforaphane, and the sulforaphane kicks on glutathione, and glutathione and sulforaphane is actually what detoxify the body through the NRF2 pathway of the mitochondrial cells. So there's certain things that you can't do to the actual vegetable. Otherwise, you will inactivate or you will deactivate the healing constituents you need. Now, I'm going to show you things that you can do before you cook it, but you're not supposed to be. And this is how you know Yahweh intended us not to cook food. Because when you cook the food, you cook all the enzymes. Not only do you cook out all the enzymes, you cook out all the biophotons and bioflavonoids and all the bioavailability of the actual minerals, because you utilize the minerals due to high heat. When you put these foods in high heats, you're tricking the food intelligence to thinking that it's in your stomach. So all of the conversions that it need to go through, it goes through them in your skillet, and then it doesn't do it in your stomach because it already went through it. So most of the enzymic reactions are deactivated. If y'all got what I just said, because it was a big old jewel for y'all. If y'all got what I just said, type in some 9s. If y'all got what I just said, type in some 9s. Okay, I see y'all got that. Now let's keep it going. So we got to be careful with cooking these foods. And the reason why is this. The impact of domestic cooking method on myrosinase stability, glucosinolates, and the hydroxyls products or different cabbages. So this showing you, when you read this, showing you that when you're cooking these different foods at different temperatures, whether you stir frying them, whether you microwaving them, introducing them into radio wave frequency, which is crazy anyway. That's crazy because when you use, like, your phone works off radio frequency, radio waves. And what radio wave does is they boil water, and your brain is full of 98% water. So when you put a cell phone to your head, you actually boiling the water inside of the cells of your brain. And then after you boil them, you actually evaporate all the water from that cell, and it causes your brain to get smaller, and then it causes brain cancer. It's just this new technology is really killing us, family. But hey, thank God for myrosinase. Thank God for broccoli. Thank God for the cruciferous family and all the other different herbs that the Creator Yahweh have created for us. Because we need these poisons from these herbs to actually kick on a detoxification mechanism, a stage in our body, for we can, create an alternative route of elimination to get all these things up out of the body. But it just shows you that 18 cabbages was investigated, and they showed that when you microwave or stir fry these things, that you actually cooked over 90%. Look, over 90% loss of myrosinase activity in some sessions. So this shows you, look, 97% of these things was when you microwaved it. And just read through this article. It shows you that you cannot cook vegetables. Now, there is a method you can do. I don't want to tell y'all because I don't want you cooking your food, but I'm not a liar either. So I'm gonna tell y'all what you do is remember when we was talking earlier, right? And we was talking it was talking about how when you eat certain of these plants, the moment that you actually chew or you cut into these plants, when you break them, like I just broke that, soon as I break into that, all the glucosionate is being produced. Glucoraphanin is now being produced. Within an hour, what's going to be produced is actual myrosinase. Then myrosinase is going to actually turn into a sulforaphane, and then the sulforaphane is going to hit the bloodstream, go to the bloodstream, and it's going to infuses itself into the cells by way of the mucous membrane of the cell. Then it messes with the Golgi apparatus, and then what it does is it opens up the NRF2 pathway phase genes to the mitochondria, and then since the mitochondria is working all day to produce ATP, all of the byproducts that the mitochondria is using, we can get rid of it now because I broke into the flesh or the chloroplasts or the chlorophyll of the plant. So showing you that chewing and breaking this or damaging the plant in its raw state activates myrosinase, right? So if it activates myrosinase in its raw state, chop it up first before you cook it. See, and this study shows, I'm gonna show y'all this. When you cut it up and you chop it up or you break it up into pieces and you let it sit for 30 minutes to an hour, glucoraphanin and sulforaphane is all without of the actual plant or the vegetable, or what we're going to call the broccoli. And when you cook it, it is still there. So make sure that you damage the plant before you cook it. If you get them and you automatically just throw them inside of the skillet and boil them and all of that, you might as well, it ain't no point of you eating it because it ain't going to do its job whatsoever. So make sure you chop it up first. Make sure you break them up first. Or you can do like I do, just eat them raw. Just eat them raw. Raw is better. Raw is better. If y'all getting this lesson so far, if y'all getting understanding and understanding so far on how powerful broccoli actually is, family, do me a favor and type in some sevens. Type in some sevens. I know this is a lot of information, y'all, that we going through. Whole lot of information. If y'all get that so far, type in some sevens. And once I see a few sevens, we'll continue back with the lecture. Okay. All right, let's get back to it. Okay, so that was talking about the different cooking. I showed y'all the different cooking methods that y'all can do. Now I want to talk about, remember I was telling y'all about the actual enzyme myrosinase bacteria that's been in our stomachs before broccoli was even created, which is crazy. Crazy, right? How the hell, this how you know God is good. Like he, she, however y'all want to identify with y'all God concept. I'm feeling masculine right now, so I'm gonna call him a he. When I'm in my creative state, I call her a her. But it's crazy. It's like he already knew that we was going to be creating broccoli and hybriding these foods. So he intuitively gave us the actual bacteria enzymes to break it down thousands of years before it was even created. I mean, that is just mind blowing to me, family. I don't know how y'all feel about that, but that blows my top. I'm not going to even lie. So this is a picture of the actual bacteria, different type of bacteria. You got viruses that's inside of the gut, which is a good thing. We're going to talk about that in another lecture. You have bacteria inside the gut, which is a good thing. You have archaea inside of the gut, which is another good thing. You have fungus inside of the gut, which is another good thing. And you have yeast, which is called Candida albicans. All of these are good. When they get excessively built up, they can cause damage, though. And they only excessively build up when the body is subjected to acid-forming food. Not acid foods, but acid-forming foods. Hope y'all caught that nugget I just said there. Now, it's talking about lactobacillus, bifidobacteria, Bacteroides. It's talking about all these different bacteria inside of the gut. And what we noticed was bifidobacteria and lactobacillus bacteria was the two bacteria that come with inside of their DNA already have an enzymic reaction to myrosinase. Ain't that crazy, family? And this just shows you right here that the metabolic rate of glucosionate by gut microbiota is already there. Check this out. A large number of studies stated that the human gut microbiota can metabolize GLS with the production of bioactive compounds. It says 7 studies shows evidence of myrosinase-like activities and glucoraphanin hydroxylase. It says both are virtual and vital to bioactive sulforaphane. It's already in the gut, family. This is test shown. Look it up. You think I'm playing? There go the doctor's name, family. You can't make this up, man. This is amazing information. Amazing information. I'm just glad the creator put it on my heart to talk about it, to be honest with y'all. I'm glad the creator put it on my heart to talk about it. Hold on, y'all. This is too big for me. How do I do that? I'm going to have to move it out the way, family. Okay. So now I want to talk about the factors and influencing sulforaphane content in broccoli sprouts. So remember, I was telling y'all that you can get a lot of this from your broccoli sprouts. A lot of this you can get from broccoli sprouts. You can get a lot of it from broccoli as well. But if you really want to capitalize and get as much as you can, and you don't like broccoli or you don't like eating broccoli like that, I suggest that you actually get it from sprouts. That way you don't have to eat a lot of sprouts. You can just put a little bit of sprouts on your salads, 3 times a week, and you will, because like it says, broccoli sprouts contain 10 to 100 times higher levels of sulforaphane than mature plants. Sometimes it says something that has been well known since 1997. So they tested this out in 1997, and what they tested was broccoli sprouts contains 10 to 100 times higher amounts of sulforaphane in the broccoli sprouts than it actually does in the mature broccoli. And then the mature broccoli has a higher time sulforaphane content than kale, cabbage, and all the other cruciferous families. Some cruciferous family doesn't have it at all. So if you really you don't want to get deep into broccoli, you can actually eat broccoli sprouts, and you can eat just a little bit of it, and it will do major good things to the body. Let me say this. It will do major detoxification to the body and allow the body to rebuild its molecular structure, what you would call cellular regeneration. All right, so this is broccoli sprouts. Now, y'all know I had to find a video to show y'all how to do broccoli sprouts. I wouldn't be the teacher I am if I told y'all broccoli sprouts and then I ain't tell y'all how to do it. And it says it again, broccoli sprouts can contain over 100 times as much as precursor glucoraphanin than the mature broccoli. All right. Now, this is talking about it again, broccoli sprouts. I mean, there's so many different articles that scientists did in a laboratory just showing how powerful broccoli sprouts is. I got at least 100 of them myself. I only put like 6 of them in here, and we're not going to even go through all of them. But this just shows you the induction of phase 2 detoxification enzymes, glutathione, transferase, and eposide hydroxylase, all and reductase. This is all due to that precursor that I'm talking about in your broccoli sprouts. Broccoli is a detoxification beast. Let me say it again. Broccoli is a detoxification beast, y'all. I'm not playing. Look, all you got to because look, we do food. I'm a food forensic investigator. We investigate these things in foods. Find me another vegetable that do that other than plantain leaf. Castor grande. I mean, you have a lot of them, but I mean, come on, man. Come on. It's crazy. All right, now this shows you how to actually make broccoli sprouts. How to grow broccoli sprouts. It says you don't need a green thumb to sprout broccoli seeds right in your kitchen, on your kitchen counter. All you need is the right tools. You will see how easy and budget friendly it is for this fighting cancer powerhouse. Place the broccoli seeds in a small bowl, and you cover them up. Look at this, y'all. It's all right here. All you gotta do is let them sit for eight hours. Let the sprouts mature. Get them a final rinse, strain them before consuming. And this is credits to Clean Kitchen Eating on YouTube. Giving everybody their credits. Everybody. Let's read that again. Let's do it again. We're just going to go through it slow. All right. Hold on, family. I'm going too fast. Let me go back. My bad, family. All right, we're going to go through it one more time. Just for y'all to see this. Y'all can go back through and pause it on y'all end. I ain't going to pause it on my end because it started messing with my system. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Look at that. This is a 30-second video showing you how to actually sprout these broccolis. And that's it for that, y'all. All right. So, we talked about how it lowers the risk of cancer. Do we have any actual studies in cases? Well, I showed y'all one, which was that bladder cancer and that lung cancer. But do we have, concrete, which there was concrete, but do we have more cases where somebody had cancer and we seen the cancer be reduced by broccoli, and did the government tell on themselves and put it out there? Yes, they did. Not only one time, but 22 times. Not only one time, family, but 22 times where we got documentation of actual cancer being reversed or reduced, should I say, by broccoli. Let's get to it. So we see heart disease, cancer, chronic lung disease, stroke, Alzheimer's disease, diabetes, and chronic kidney disease, or most of your chronic diseases that's high amongst all communities inside the USA. I used to say the black community a lot, but it's hitting everybody. It's hitting white, black, browns, Mexicans, Asians. Everybody in America is getting hit because America is just a trifling ass place to be in right now. America is very ghetto right now, family. It really is. All right, so we're talking about stage 4 bladder cancer. Let's talk about it. And let's see what the Cruciferous family did. So when you read this, the intake of cruciferous vegetables modifies bladder cancer survival. All right, so it's talking about a total of 239 bladder cancer patients were included in a study. Notice all of these are clinical trial studies. It says after an average of 8 years of follow-ups, 179 deaths occurred. All right, now I need y'all to do that. 239 take away 179. It says with 101 deaths attribute to bladder cancer. After adjustment of the prognostic factors, a strong and significant inverse was observed between bladder cancer mortality and broccoli intake. See how they put cruciferous in the title, but when you really dig deep, they say broccoli. It took me so many hours and hours and hours just going through all of this data because they were hide. Maybe they doing it on purpose, but they will hide broccoli they would just put cruciferous in the title, but they would put what it was inside of the actual results or the conclusion of the clinical trials. But so every article we went to, it was broccoli, and out of all the articles we went to, only 2 of them was actual broccoli. The other ones were broccoli sprouts, y'all, just to let y'all know. And y'all can read these things for yourselves. All right. Wait till we get to the brain, y'all. Wait till we get to the brain and what it does for the brain. It's crazy, crazy. It says, so it shows you what it does. Now, look, considering the strong, preclinical evidence, intake of broccoli may improve bladder cancer survival. Now, check this out. Intake of a raw cruciferous vegetable, which is broccoli, was significantly associated with the reduced disease-specific 57% reduction in the cancer. They had the cancer, it reduced the cancer by 57%, and the overall mortality rate by 43% reduction. That's crazy. And it says as a result of largely driven by raw, no, not cooked, raw broccoli intake. Ooh wee. And this is only talking about 3.9 servings a month. This is how strong broccoli sprouts is. You don't even need that much. 3.9 servings a month. And it reduced, it would not the risk, but it reduced the cancer of the bladder by 57%. And the mortality rate of the subjects, or what we call clinical patients, by 43%. I'm over here stumping my feet like a preacher, y'all. All right, what about prostate cancer? What about prostate? I'm not talking about reducing the risk of prostate cancer, but I'm talking about actual prostate cancer. What about that, y'all? Here it go again. Uh-oh. Now, look, broccoli sprouts. See, now they starting to get into the name. I guess they like, look, the cap is blown wide open. Damn, broccoli is healing the world. F it. We just going to start putting it in the titles now. It says an inducer of enzymes that protect against chemical carcinogens. Now, I just want to read this real quick because we are getting too late into the game, and I do still got to do this interview with Bobby. It says man changes in PSA, which stands for prostate-specific antigen levels. That's how you determine whether you got cancer or not. Between month 6 and month 0, was significantly lower in the sulforaphane group than in placebo. So he just talking about regular, it beat placebo out. It says PSA doubling times as 86% longer in the sulforaphane than the placebo group. Showing y'all how this stuff is out here really healing things, family. Now, we have to talk about carcinogens. You get carcinogens from the air. You get it from driving in your cars. You get it from cigarette smoke. You get it from tainted water. You get it from the things you put in your skin, perfumes, lotions. You get it from chemical saturated soaps. You get it from your mixed fabrics, not wearing 100% cotton or 100% hemp. You get it from the technology. You get it from radiation from your phones, your TVs, your Wi-Fi at the house. So we have to talk about carcinogens and what broccoli does to the overall health of the body, the overall health of the body. Check this out, family. Wait, y'all see the publication here? Look it up yourself. So sulforaphane is coming of age as a clinical relevant nutraceutical in the prevention and treatment of chronic. Let's read it. That's a headliner. Boy, hey, if anybody got a headliner, broccoli got a headliner. I don't know. Look, I don't know no other herb that got a headliner like this by the government, and we be all through the government documents all day, every day, studying and reading and stuff. Sulforaphane, it's coming of age. You gotta read it crazy. It's coming of age as a clinical relevant nutraceutical in the prevention of treatment and chronic disease. Yeah, I should be a narrator doing that, boy. Now check this out. Sulforaphane, one of the isothiocyanates, whose precursor is abundant in 3-day-old broccoli, broccoli sprouts, family, triggers the inductions of many cytoprotective enzymes, including NQ01 or NQ01, which protects the cells from antioxidant damage by 2 electron reductions, y'all. So this gene called the NQ01 gene is only kicked on by sulforaphane, right? Sulforaphane comes from your broccoli sprouts. Notice what it does. As soon as it kicks it on, it suppresses oxidative cyclic stress and it suppresses cancerous cells, y'all. That comes from your environment. All the carcinogens that I was just talking about, this is what sulforaphane does when my ricinoase converted over from glucoraphanin. That comes from your what? Broccoli sprouts. I know, family. Hold on. Anti-cancer activity of sulforaphane in the epigenetic mechanism, however you say that, and the NRF2 signaling pathway. We've been talking about this NRF2 gene and this NRF2 signaling pathway and the mechanics of it since the beginning of this lecture. So I'm not going to even read this whole thing because it's going over the same things I've been going over since day one. Now, let's talk about just the overall health benefits of actual broccoli. It's packed with vitamins, minerals. It's bioactive compounds. It contains potent antioxidants that offer high protective effects. Bioactive compounds may contribute to reduce of inflammation, may protect against certain types of cancer, antioxidants and fiber, may aid blood sugar control. It's a study I got where it actually regulated blood sugar, may support heart and health in the variety in many ways, promotes healthy digestion and reduce constipation. A lot of people say, you can't even digest. Yes, you can. It actually reduces constipation. It helps aid the digestive system. What study y'all been reading? Or, it was like that for you. And if it was like that for you, that means you got a backed up colon and you need to get on my 3 bitters ASAP. May slow mental decline and support healthy brain function. When it comes to the brain in part 2, when we go over the glucoraphanin and the broccoli sprouts in the brain, it's amazing how it yields and brings oxygen to the brain. It brings oxygen to the brain like berries do. Y'all know berries is my brain food. Broccoli bring oxygen to the brain like berries do. Come on, man. Like if this not a hybrid that went right, I don't know what is. If this is not a hybrid that went right, I don't know what is. May slow mental decline and support healthy brain function. May help slow the aging process. Vital amine or vital mineral C content supports a healthy lymphatic defense system. I hate saying the word immune system because I don't believe in it. May support dental and oral health. May promote healthy bones and joints. Nutrient content may support healthy pregnancy. May protect your skin from sun damage. Yes, it has a way of coating melanin. It's so beautiful how it coats melanin and how it promotes UV sun ray protection, y'all. All right, more benefits. I'm gonna let y'all read it yourselves. And it talks about the nutrients, the fibers, the vital amines, the vital minerals, all of that things that's inside of it. And now, I would not be a teacher if I didn't tell you the negative effects of actual broccoli. The only negative effect that I found in broccoli is that broccoli is a goitrogen. And what a goitrogen is it causes goiters on your thyroid if you already are in hypothyroidism. If you already are producing nodules, if you already have a slow metabolism, if you already can't intake iodine and turn it into aldehyde, if your triiodotyrosine and your tetraiodotyrosine, tyrosine, or what we call thyroxine, is already not being produced by the hypothalamic gland, or what you would call the paraventricular nucleus. If it's not producing thyrotropin stimulating hormone, which is going to kick on the thyrotrope cells and then kick the actual pituitary gland to produce the thyroid stimulating hormone. If this system, this negative feedback system, is already messed up, and you have goiters, or you growing nodules, or your thyroid is in this hypo stage, then you cannot take or eat broccoli, because broccoli actually inhibits iodine. It inhibits. It don't even turn into aldehyde yet, because it already inhibits iodine. And the reason why it inhibits iodine is because they want to inhibit it to make sure it kicks on your actual detoxification phase. So, and this talks about the effect of broccoli sprouts and thyroid functioning, the biochemical and immunological in rats. And this study was in rats, y'all. I haven't seen one in humans yet, but I'm talking about what was in rats. So this, and that's a good thing too. I haven't seen this in actual humans. Everything else we've been talking about is in humans until this one. This is the only one I found in rats. If anybody can find this study done by the government, that's government cited, and they did the same thing on humans, and it showed to actually inhibit iodine and impair the thyroid, please send that to me before I can post that. But I seen it in rats. I haven't seen it in humans yet. And that's the only thing. And that's if you already have a thyroid disease. All right. Now, the reason why I want to bring this up is that's going to be the same thing for most of your nightshades, your tomatoes, your eggplants, your peppers. These things have something called silanin in it. And the silanin in it is a form of lectin that actually, it tears down your gut wall. And it not only causes irritable bowel syndrome, but it causes leaky guts. So we see tomatoes and eggplants and peppers do the same thing. They have something in them that's anti-nutrients that try to protect themselves, that will inhibit something, because they inhibit iodine as well. And so we can't just blame, broccoli, because I can blame 100 other foods and fruits and vegetables that does the same damn thing. But me, being an honest person I am, I had to talk about that. So yes, we're talking about the actual goitrogens, which come from there. And rye is full of goitrogens. Spelt is full of goitrogens. Walnuts is full of goitrogens as well. So most of your other alkaline foods are full of goitrogens too, which means that it will bring down a rat's thyroid functioning, because I haven't seen it in humans yet, if you already got a thyroid functioning that have been compromised. And that's all I have to say about that one. And now we back to the end of the lecture. So I'm going to open up the platform to my brother Bobby, and then we're going to turn on the phone lines, and we're going to y'all can ask any question y'all want. Y'all can ask any question y'all want. We not hiding nothing. Hopefully y'all had some understanding, overstanding, and understanding of this entire topic. I hope y'all did. If y'all got some understanding, overstanding, and understanding, type in some nines, family. Type in some nines for me. Well, yeah, where them nines at? Let me know. Let me know something. Okay, all praises, all praises. I hope y'all did. I hope y'all did. Good. So I want to bring Bobby in. For those that climbed in late, I was talking about Bobby from Memphis, Tennessee. Not only do we got the food forensics investigation going on, which are going to premiere on Netflix, Amazon Prime, Hulu, Tubi, Google Play, and Apple Play, but we also have another series called From Soil to Table that's going to be appearing and premiering on there as well. And I just want to show y'all my brother before we pull him in. So this is my brother right here. This is my film crew right here. And we filming. Y'all see the reds out, $100,000 cameras out. and we just filming in his garden, him and his wife garden. I'm gonna let them introduce themselves. I'm gonna let Bobby talk. Hey, the dude knowledge when it comes to gardening is crazy. Like, this the only person that like I truly can have a true conversation with, man. We was like going back and forth, man. I'm like, dang, he even taught me some shit. I mean, my bad, y'all. He even taught me some stuff there. So I'm finna pull him in now. Let me see how I can do this. Hold on, let me unmute his mic real quick, cause I got his mic muted. Hold on, Bobby. I got your mic muted. How do I do that? Give me 1 second. Peace, my brother. Can you hear me?
Peace. I keep my brother, loved one.
How you feeling?
Feeling great, man. Blessed to be here with you and your people, bro. You know, my future people, you feel?
All praises. So I want to introduce you to my platform. I got a beautiful platform, beautiful following. They love us, man. Whether it's YouTube, where I had hundreds of thousands of followers, but they permanently removed my first YouTube, so I had to build. I'm building this one back up. Instagram over 250,000. Facebook thousands, over 50,000. So it's a lot of people that follow the platform, and I wanted to introduce you to the platform because we did the episode with you, brother, and I didn't know you was gonna be that cool, man. We end up becoming brothers. We call each other. We talk now. So I want you to introduce yourself to the people, and I want to ask you a few questions. I want to talk about what you doing in the community, what you doing in the garden, and just your whole intake and your whole knowledge base on hybrid foods.
Absolutely. All right. So start with bless.
Hold on, real quick. Can everybody hear Bobby, y'all?
Yeah. How do I sound? I got a Bluetooth in. I can take it out if I'm not clear. But let me know.
How do Bobby sound? And we're gonna make sure that he give his IG when he done. We're gonna make sure he give his IG, because his IG, he shows the whole dude crazy when it comes to botany and plant and growing stuff. Dude cold, man. So let's take your earphones out, because they said it's echoing a little bit.
Okay.
And I'm gonna mute mine while you telling your story, just in case it's me on my end as well.
Absolutely. Can y'all hear me? Is this much better?
Man, much better, bro. Much better.
Beautiful. Okay. Well, Yaki, of course, man, I'm Bobby Lewis Rich III. I am the lead horticulturalist, ethnobotanist, farmer. Sometimes I call myself an urban peasant. But me and my wife and my daughter, we have a communal garden in the inner city called Black Seeds Urban Farms.
Hey, Black Seed Urban Farm, man, it's fire. Look, hey, when you go to the garden, you can see the pyramid in Memphis. Like, man, the whole view just dope, man. I didn't think I was gonna see that in Memphis, bro. When I came there, I didn't think I wasn't expecting that, bro. I ain't gonna even lie to you.
It's really it's beyond kind of like our colonized mind's understanding of what it means to be alive. When you're outside of these natural systems, you definitely get a sense of decentralizing yourself from the center.
Hold on, real quick. Okay, I understand. They said disconnect your Bluetooth, and if it's still echoing, can y'all hear him? If y'all can hear and understand, who cares about the echo? As long as we can understand, family. Oh, they said it's bad. So yeah, they said it's bad. What about now? So they said it's echoing bad, brother.
Mic check.
How you sound now, y'all? How you sound now? Go ahead, say something real quick.
Yo, mic check. I'm gonna try to come in from my phone. Let's try it here.
They said it's a little better. Let's see from your phone, yeah. Okay, y'all, we trying to fix it right now, y'all. He trying to come in through his phone. We're gonna try this one time, and then you know what I'm saying, we might have to fix it or re-interview him tomorrow. Hopefully this worked though.
Yeah, I'm trying to join from my phone, but I'm gonna have to back out here.
Yeah, back out and rejoin. I'll bring you back in. Yeah, family. So he gonna try to come back in through his phone. But I'm not gonna lie. Y'all are very spoiled. I done spoiled y'all with all these technologies and stuff. So y'all just used to high quality. I know y'all asses heard him because I heard him. Y'all just want the tip top quality. But that's what I get from spoiling y'all. I know y'all heard him. But what y'all think about the lesson, family? Give me y'all questions about the lessons. Did y'all learn anything? How was it? How was the lesson? What did y'all learn? What did y'all learn? Tell me. Or y'all gonna start eating y'all broccoli. If y'all don't, I'm not judging anybody that's gonna say, you know what, I'm still staying away from it. But me, I'm gonna eat that broccoli though. I'm just letting you know that now. And did I provide enough? Did I provide enough information? Yeah, I know y'all spoiled, man. Okay, mind blowing. I'm glad. Okay, very powerful. Okay. And on the comment board, please make sure y'all like this video on a comment board on YouTube and Facebook. If y'all got any type of questions, not disagreements, but questions, ask them. If y'all got some information and y'all want to have an open dialogue about it, true information though, don't come to me with no watered down information because I don't work like that. You know what I'm saying? You got to step. If I'm going to debate, it's going to be with my equal. So, you know what I'm saying? We can dialogue about it. You see what I'm saying? But, you know, other than that, like, yeah, broccoli is alkaline. We proved it. Broccoli is alkaline. Even though it's a hybrid, but most of your foods are hybrid. I see you coming in, Bobby. Peace, my brother. Can you hear me? Can you hear me now?
Yeah, I can hear you very clear. I don't sound right.
Man, you sound good to me. Let's see them. All right, Bobby back in, y'all. How do Bobby sound? A lot of them saying they never stop eating broccoli anyway. I did. I ain't gonna lie, boy. I did until I started getting in that laboratory and studying stuff for myself. I'm like, hold on, something ain't right. They said it sound. They saying it sound. Yeah. They saying it sound the same, brother.
Still echo.
Yeah. Do me this favor, bro. Call the phone. I'm finna hook the phone line up. Just call my phone line. It's 708 831 2335. 708 831. And then mute your actual computer. 708 831 2335, brother.
Okay, I'm signing off. Here we go.
All right, peace. Y'all, please do not call the phone number. Let us get this interview done first. Let me call him back. Look, y'all tripping. So now y'all just gonna blow me up like that? Seriously? Y'all mad, disrespectful.
I see.
You gotta turn your computer, turn your other thing all the way off, bro. So they can hear you.
Mic check.
Can y'all hear him now, family? Can y'all hear him now?
Mic check. Check 1 2. I'm checking the scene now.
All right, they said they can hear you good. All right, now let's talk about it. Now introduce yourself again, and let's talk about it, man.
Is it still echo?
Nope, they said they can hear you well.
Okay. Fantastic. Okay. Yeah. So, pretty much, my name is Bobby Rich. I am the horticulturist at Black Seeds, the ethnobotanist, the national farmer. I go by many names. Me and my wife and my daughter, we have our business. It's an inner city farm called Black Seeds Urban Farms, and it's basically what we do is.
I don't know what you did, brother, but you muffled it.
Oh, mic check. Can you hear me? I can.
Nah, you super. I don't know. I know,
yeah,
family.
Yeah, I can. Can you hear me?
You super muffled, bro. Huh, let's do this, Bobby. Let's do this.
Yo.
We gonna fix this problem, and we gonna interview Bobby tomorrow, family. I don't know what's going on, but we gonna figure it out.
Mic check. Okay.
Yeah, my bad about that, family. I don't know what's going on with them, but we gonna figure it out. So what you can do is, I seen somebody, and my phone lines is open 701. 708-831-2335. Y'all can give me a call and we can talk about some things. 708-831-2335, family. Let's talk about it. Any questions y'all got about broccoli or whatever? 708-831-2335. Dang, I wanted y'all to hear that his interview. Dude is so full of knowledge, man, but we're going to get him on tomorrow. And then y'all calling and blowing me up while he trying to call, man. Y'all don't act right, man. Y'all do not be acting right. I see everybody calling. I don't even know what's going on with the phone now. All right, family. Look, I'm finna get up out of here, family. I love y'all. Love y'all indeed and in truth. Maybe it's just been a long day. Y'all done froze my phone up. Oh, man. Y'all crazy. The store's not open tomorrow. I'm not opening up the store until my new website get done. The new website goes so hard, y'all. Yaki Awaken app is done. We just doing the testings, making sure we testing all the bugs and stuff out. And then we're going to open up the website, the new website, and we're going to open up actual Yaki TV, the app. You can download the app actually from your phone. Let me show y'all this. It's super dope, family. Super, super dope. Yaki TV. See, check that out. Y'all see that? Yaki TV. Boom. It's an actual app. You know what I'm saying? Then you log into it. Got all the stuff up there. It's super dope. So all of the stuff done. We just testing and we uploading everything. But look, I love y'all indeed and in truth. Anything y'all have to say, please put it in the comment board, whether it's on YouTube or whether it's on Facebook. Any new information, y'all got, tag me in it. And we're going to be live again tomorrow. We're going to do some questions and answers tomorrow. I'm going to make sure that Bobby sound quality is up before we go live. What's crazy was we had just tested it before we went live doing it. Sounded good, but it's all good. With that being said, peace, love, light, and healing. Peace to the gods, peace to the earth. Also on the comment board, let me know where you from. Let me know where you from, where you from, what state you from, what city you in. We kicking off the tour at the end of February. If y'all need any questions on that, holla at Nabi. And look, it's going down, family. We building, we filming, we making movies, we creating class courses. I mean, we been busy, family. So that's the reason why y'all haven't been seeing me so much. But look, I love y'all indeed and in truth. Peace, 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 love, light, and healing. Peace to the gods, peace to the earth. Peace. Eat your broccoli.